the FAA, everybody. But they just said no.
The first,
I said, wait a minute. I did exactly what you said. They said that it had to be, there had to be a half-mile buffer to any populated area on the approach end from the runway. Okay. And I said, okay, this is a pad, and I have an approach here and here. No, I know what I did. I didn't want to explain that to them. I had a strip, Mark. I put in a small strip. And I went ahead and had it paved. I shouldn't have. I wasted money. So I put in a little strip. I had more than a half mile this way, more than a half mile this way. They said, oh no, you have to have a half mile radius. And I said, well, that's bullshit. That's not what it says. It says
for a helicopter or for a plane?
For a landing strip.
For anything.
I didn't tell them what it was. It doesn't fucking matter. I just wanted to get my strip approved, right? And so there it is, the strip. I had like a mile this way and a half mile this way, or a half mile, a mile. They said, you have to have a half mile around the whole thing. And I said,
how does the guy in front of me have an airstrip?
I said, nobody lands this way. Nobody lands this way. I mean, why would I need that way? All they care about is approach and takeoff, right? I said, the runway's this way. And so I argued when they wrote that law, they meant a half-mile buffer from the approach, because it says a half-mile buffer from the ends of the runway. They said, this too, that's the side of the runway. They interpreted, that's it. They said, I'm sorry.
So they basically wanted you to build a parking lot.
No. You don't have to have a strip that long. You have to have a buffer, no houses. So they wanted, you had to have.
And you didn't have that in your back 35?
No, you couldn't get a half mile on each.
Okay.
But you had to have a half mile each. I don't know how that guy got it, Mark. I don't know. But I am so upset.
He takes off and lands right over Parker every day.
But how they did that to me, I said, I did everything. It was so beautiful. And there were no houses.
But if it's a helicopter, does it matter?
No, but I didn't. Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It would even be worse, because then they would say, that's why I didn't do the search. Then they would say, you have to have.
Because you approach every direction.
But with the airstrip, it didn't matter what kind of aircraft. We never got into aircraft. They said you had to have a half mile from each end. It's weird. So they considered the sides and ends too.
Here, take this
and
one.
It clearly isn't. They just flat out wouldn't do it. And what am I?
No, they were
You
kind of
can't do
crappy
anything about
chairs.
it. When you
but
have
that
a
was the
government
chair,
that sucks,
so-
and there's only 3 commissioners, Mark.
It just might be hard to reach the microphone.
No, I'd say, is that high enough?
Oh, there's
There might be
great.
more now. It's grown so much, but I mean, maybe not. Now's the time to buy Tesla stock.
Oh, right. Are they going off the wall?
I have no idea.
I don't agree with that.
Did you see that space?
It's just an article.
Isn't the guy who owns Tesla also space, the rocket?
Did you get a number?
And she said that their new thing doesn't take the PIN, it doesn't do that. On the debit card, she said she needed nothing.
Well, I'm going to get a check from my agent.
Okay.
I'm going to get a check from my. I'm not going to. I have a damn agent pay account I never use, and I'm so tired of it.
Do you want to send me the information? And I'll make I won't talk to you. I was going to say I can check and see what.
Here's the deal. Can you do an ACH? Ask them if they can do an ACH transfer. Can I do an ACH?
I remember when that shit was like $16, man.
I made a grand
I will
GE so
ask
far.
them.
Look at this.
How are you?
Are they 11 something?
Okay.
I have
2016, $11.95.
Okay.
I started day trading it right in here.
Okay.
No, I was 18. I was right around here.
Thank you. I'll be back up.
Okay. It's crazy. Frank, I'm trying to figure out how to do those menus. No. I need to figure them out anyhow. So when we build new ones.
I'm trying to make it less complicated.
No, I don't.
What are you talking about?
It's just this new website. I just got to add those. I know it's easy. I just don't know where they are on there.
Mark, is it a WordPress?
It is a WordPress for realtors.
You haven't asked me for advice if I can get on that.
Well, Amir's been doing some custom stuff.
I'm sorry, don't
Oh, he has.
That's the only issues I'm having right now.
So you can't find where you're putting it.
That's
That's what I
always
find.
needs, man.
I always find that Mark, he
But
doesn't put it in.
if he shows me how to do it,
Just so we can
I'll
see
know
it.
how to do
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
But the new one automatically grabs his listings and puts it on the website. It's pretty cool. The only one you manually have to do is that front page, Frank. where I got my house right now. Because that one, if it takes the one from MLS and expands it that big, it's all pixelated.
Right.
So I'll just have to show you how to swap that in and out.
Okay. Thank you. Well, we're getting there.
They are 11 and 12.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be 12 and 13 next month.
Boy, girl.
Yep. One of these.
How old selling it?
11.
No, same with me.
Yeah.
I got the same situation. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, and this is the Consumer Show, the Troubleshooter Show, the Kick-Ass Show, the Give Me Your Problems and We Solve Them Show, the only show of its kind anywhere. I don't even know how to explain it. People say, what do you do for a living? I say, I'm on the radio. I have a radio show, longest running radio show in America, with the same host. Yep, continual. And here's the deal. We solve problems. People call, we solve. Now, if we can't solve it, well, we tell you that, but we tell you what went wrong, or if we agree or disagree. Don't ever take that personally. The guy yesterday had a call, it bothered me a little. I think I might have, I wasn't rough on him, but I think he was probably really disappointed. He bought a car in August. It was summer. It was a BMW SUV. In November, late November I think it was, he had an accident. He said it lost traction. He skidded into a curb. It did $12,000 in frame damage. He said he thought the dealership was responsible because they did not tell him it had summer tires.
And you're feeling bad for him, you're saying?
I just said, man, I said, you don't have a prayer. There's no way I can help you. And I really cut it short. I don't know. I was thinking about it last night in bed. I really was. I was thinking, was I too hard on that guy? Now, I do not believe, Mark, for a minute the delership is responsible at all.
I'm going to start calling you soft serve.
No, I was talking to Stephanie about it. I said, Steph, what do you think about this? She goes, he bought it in the summer, and he was expecting them to call him and say, oh, don't forget to change your tires. I mean, he said they didn't tell me it had summer tires. How many times, or I don't even think it did have summer tires. I'll bet you if you investigate it had all weather. Not that that matters. Any tire can skid, any tire. But the point is this. There's not always a bad guy. But this show, if you'll notice, and I love my callers, so please stay on the line. I'll get right to you. My callers try to find the bad guy. Sometimes they try to serve him up to me and see if I'll bite. And if I say, yeah, then we go after him. But sometimes they're not looking at the right bad guy. So let's take your calls, 303-713-TALK. Okay, now we have an update from Mike, and then we're going to get to a topic du jour today. We do have a topic, and as you know, we never concentrate on one topic. But Mike, you have an SUV. No, yeah, you do. That big one, black one, and you took it to John Elway dealership, and they were doing some wheel work, and they used a impact wrench, and you have custom wheels, and you said they scratched your wheels when they were doing the impact wrench. They took the paint off of the lug nuts, and then they scratched your wheel with the rim machine. At least that was your allegation. You showed us photos, and they said, according to you, tough. We don't have curbs. We didn't do it. And they didn't even address the lug nuts, you said, right?
Yeah, they did address the lug nuts.
Okay, what did they do with the lug nuts? Yesterday I said.
So right now, I haven't heard anything back. When I walked out yesterday, he said, "Oh, we'll give you a call."
No, but you said they addressed the lug nuts. What did they say? You said they wouldn't do anything.
They said that they did damage the lug nuts.
And what did they say they would do?
They don't know how they can fix it. So the guy said that he would call me and let me know.
Okay.
And that's when I called
did you tell Mark? Did he tell us that they admitted to damaging the lug nuts yesterday? Because
on the invoice they admitted to damaging everything.
But the whole thing that surprised us, I'm not going to get nitpicking here, but the whole thing that pissed us off is that they did acknowledge it in writing.
Yeah.
But he was saying they would do nothing for him and acknowledge nothing.
Deputy Dan, did they call us back?
I was disappointed, but we do have an update.
With them.
Here's the bottom line. It doesn't matter. I thought you said they wouldn't acknowledge any damage. So it doesn't matter. They acknowledged the lug nuts. They didn't acknowledge the rim. It does. So we did call them for you. Okay. You have not heard from them yet, right?
No, sir.
Okay, we did. We did hear from them. Suzanne.
So what the dealership told us, Tom, was that he had a responsibility to tell them they were painted, and they would have used a different device to take them off.
I don't believe he had that responsibility.
What is with dealers these days?
He did not have a responsibility. Come on. So it's up to Mike to say.
the service advisor even acknowledged that the wheels were full, and I said,
so if you have an oil change, do you say, hey, by the way, the hood was painted?
So also what they said, what was weird is he voided the warranty on the rims or the tires by painting them in the first place. And they're not doing anything. Too bad, so sad.
What are they doing about the lug nuts?
Nothing. They said too bad, so sad.
Okay, so hold on now. Their claim is they did not know. Just wait a second, sir. Their claim is that they did not know it was painted.
That is exactly right.
So they thought maybe it was powder coated or something, or anodized, or whatever. I don't know. How do you get black? So
either way, I have other black wheels that are painted, and I just got a different car back yesterday. I can send you pictures and show you my black wheels. They have not a chip on them, not one thing.
Who did them?
I mean,
who did them?
The Range Rover dealership.
Let's call a tire dealer who does a lot of tires and ask.
Thank you.
A few questions I have. Did you have them painted, or did they come that way?
No, I had them done, but I had them done professionally, like at another service center.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I didn't know that, but it doesn't matter. I don't believe you have a responsibility to tell them it's painted. I think that they're professionals. They take a rim. How they take it. I mean, if they had questions, they should say, hey, is this painted or not? I mean, I don't understand that reasoning. They should have told me it was painted. Who told you that, Suzanne?
So Deputy Greg yesterday spoke with the dealership, and I think he was the manager. His name was Todd at the dealership.
The service manager.
His name was Todd.
That was the gentleman that I spoke to.
Let's call over there and see if he'll come on and explain his position a little better.
Yeah, and then I want to talk to people in the business. I know people are listening. Come on.
Let's call Rolly's shop. Let's call Rolly. He sells cars. This was a dealership. Or let's call Deal and Dud's place in the Springs.
Okay.
Colorado Springs Dodge.
Or tire places that do it all the time. Do you...
Alaramis.
Do you have an obligation to tell the dealer or the tire service center, hey, my rims are painted? Now,
beyond that, how about if I bought that car from you and I had no idea you had them painted because they were done professionally and they look like that's how they came? Then what?
At least they acknowledged the damage. We got him there.
In writing.
Yeah. They acknowledged the damage.
He'd win in small claims court without blinking.
I know you would, and I know he would, so we're going to do that. Our topic today, real estate. It's crazy. You know, real estate prices keep going up, 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 up. Yeah, real estate has always been a great investment. For me, I made literally millions of dollars over the years in real estate, and then I didn't. I had a crash and literally lost all of those millions. And that was from the biggest recession in history. Then I said to myself, I'm never going to get caught in that trap again. And prices start going up, 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 up. And I'm thinking, what's going to prevent it from crashing again? What will prevent it? What is different now? Because I am living in a place that is appraised for a price that I would not pay. It's gone way up. I have another home that is 5 times the purchase price that I know about. And I'm wondering, how does that happen, and how does it keep happening? Are you afraid to get into the market at this level? Now, first of all, we should lose the notion that real estate is an investment as far as residences. I don't know where that came from. Yes, it is a purchase, and it does often appreciate, unlike cars. But it's not an investment. It really isn't. You can't look at it as an investment. You have to make a smart purchase based on what you're buying at the time. Don't bet on what it will be worth. You will never win over the long run. Yes, you may have a home that appreciates and never goes down. Fine, you lucked out. But real estate is not a guarantee. It just isn't. And right now, these prices, I don't know, Frank. I don't know. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. He is in the Denver metro area. He is a RE/MAX broker with RE/MAX Alliance. And he is one of the top performers in the country as far as brokers go. I looked up his listings the other day over the past 2017, and I said, oh my God, Frank does not look rich to me. But He's working his tail off.
It's a pretty nice leather jacket, though.
And a nice little car. Hey, Frank, all kidding aside, real estate in general, what do you think? I mean, really, these prices, you had a home sell, Frank, for even more than you believed it would sell for. You priced it lower on purpose of what you thought it would get. The guy was questioning you at first, thinking, wait a minute, why is he pricing it less than the other realtors wanted to price it? And he went with you, though, because he trusted you.
And we ended up getting more.
More, way more. And you told me one time, if you list at what it's really, really worth at the top price, you may get it. But it may sit there longer. And the longer it sits, the weaker it looks. And as it looks weak, what happens is days on market people look at. So then they start giving you lower offers, not higher ones. And you don't get multiple offers. So what often happens is people say, well, you know, let's lower it. Then you have days on market plus a price lowering, and then it really looks weak, and it almost stigmatizes the property. But what Frank does is he'll take that same property, and yeah, it might be worth $260, but he may price it at $240 or $245, and you say, wait a minute, the other guy wanted to price it at $260. Frank says, no, let's make it even $235. And what happens? People say, wow, and he gets 10 offers, and then they start bidding, and the guy that wanted to list it for $260, what would have happened? It would have probably sat longer. This, he sells, and it goes for $275. So there is a method to his madness. I want to know, though, does it end? And I really mean that. I really, really mean it. I am looking at homes now and the prices, and Frank, I would not pay those prices. They are not worth it.
Yeah.
They're not worth it.
Well, there's not a whole lot of inventory. And I'll tell you, too, about the pricing. It's like a quarterback. You know, I use a method called bracketing, and that's a negotiating term. We bracket. So when we price a home, it's like a quarterback in the pocket. I don't want to price it so low where we underthrow the receiver either. We don't want to put it ridiculously low, but I do want to hit that sweet spot.
Oh, I understand.
And I don't want to overthrow the receiver.
I understand.
I want to hit it in perfect stride where we hit payday in the end zone.
No, you're explaining how you price and how you list, and I appreciate it. But I'm asking you another question.
Oh, yeah, I know. I wanted to clarify that.
I want to know, if you were buying a house right now, what would you do? I mean, Mark, don't you feel kind of like I wouldn't buy at these prices?
We've made, from the one Frank negotiated and got us at a great price, it has gone up over $200,000 in less than 2 years.
Now, come on, Mark. Doesn't that seem ridiculous?
No.
Really? Oh, come on. I'm talking about in real value. Do you really believe?
I think my house is worth, I think it's worth exactly that. Maybe even more.
Would you buy it for that?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
I would. But mine's unique. I mean, it's different. It's not sitting in Highlands Ranch or anything. It's not normal, if you will.
Yeah. So
same with yours. Would you buy yours? You said
no.
Well, what are you going to do? Because the one you're selling, you're going to get a massive amount for.
Yes.
So I mean, all you're doing is passing that massive amount on to the one you're buying.
But I'm not so sure. Yeah, but I have a different way.
Or are you going to say, like, rent something for a while?
I want to downsize a bit. But what I'm saying is that the price it is now selling for, if Frank was showing me that place at that price, I wouldn't have purchased it. I would not have purchased it.
You bring up a good point, Tom, but I think it comes down to individual need. Just working with the public so much.
Obviously, but I'm talking about the pricing, the market. Yeah. What will sustain this market? If we even have a burble of problems. Listen, I'm not hoping for a recession. Of course I'm not. I love the way the market's going, the stock market, the real estate. I love everything. I love when the economy is buzzing and people are busy. I love it. But being one who had $20 million in the bank and then went down to zero, I thought it can happen again. And it just scared the hell out of me because it's exactly the way it was before it wasn't. Let's talk about this more coming up. I'm Tom Martino. This hour, okay, we have Frank Duran, the real estate man. We are talking about real estate, but this hour is brought to you by Integra Insurance because we need health insurance, and the deadline is fast approaching. Integra Insurance, you got to call them. If you are trying to deal with health insurance, you will not save a dime doing it yourself. Not a dime. So please call them to help you. That is a business that cannot lose for you. 303-466-5500. I know the people over there. You will love them. Health insurance, let them help you make a choice. 303-466-5500.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
The highway drive in pretty good.
You know, they're calling for additional increases even next year. We did an informational forecasting for us. They're still calling for major increases.
Okay, hey, Brent, take a chair.
Brent, here's your headphones. Awesome, thank you.
Right here. Okay. You got it? So loud.
And then there's the cool. No worries.
And then I'm trying to work Pro Autos live into that update with Mike with the John Elway. I'm waiting to hear from
But
Al.
when we do it, it's not.
No, I told him it's for you for context.
Yeah, when we do it right, we'll do the answer right, and then I'll say, and then you've been in business long, but it would be, and then I might say, do you have a special for people today? Rather than many times when we do it, he says, he goes into a commercial and he does it weird, but it's hard to explain. Tell him that I will, if he does have a special, I will lead him into it. I will lead him into it. If not, he doesn't have to. We can just talk about it.
All right.
Okay, great.
Thanks, buddy.
Good to see you. How you doing? Brent Ivanson from Ideal Home Loans. For your next Ideal Home Loan.
How you doing, buddy?
For a second. Tom, my mom wanted me to please say hi to you. Her name's Elsie, okay? So, hi, Tom. From my mom.
I like that.
What is
Good, buddy. How are you?
Dan, do you know what that is?
What's that?
Dan tests.
When it comes to owning a home or using your VA benefits, there's no down payment, no mortgage interest required, and will receive some of the lowest rates in the industry. If you're already in a mortgage,
Good. Good. Yeah, we had a strong December. For, you know, I don't think my kind of that week, Christmas and New Year's, is always. Last week was a little slow, but it picked up a bunch of stuff. How about you?
Go. Busy week, closed 10 properties.
What is Dan tests?
Did you?
Yeah.
What do you typically do in December?
That's true.
We had our
maybe.
We had our biggest month of the year in December.
I think we had one of our biggest in December. Yeah. That was a strong month. It was.
Yeah, if we need images, let me know, because I am going to.
What do you mean images?
I do.
You know,
but you know what? They don't
that
have
I get download. I have a subscription, and I need to use it, or I'm going to cancel it. I tried this.
Oh man, you got to do your stuff because they'll only put in a quarter of it.
I might just go back to
and then you get credit for only like 25% of your inventory.
Just tell me, and I'll download.
So watch that.
I don't think we need it.
Of anything that might. No, I'm talking about the future or the referral list. Anything. Should I get stuff that might be apropos for contractor?
Yeah, but as soon as you cancel that monthly, you're not supposed to use it.
No, that's not true. No, that's not true.
You better look into that.
I did.
Is it Getty?
You do not have to keep a month. No, absolutely, no one would ever do it. You can't possibly, because here's why I know that. Because you can buy it. You can pay the price. The $16 or the $5 or whatever.
How much do you pay for all of them?
For the subscription, I paid $149 a month. I think I'm paying.
It probably only covers certain ones, though, right?
Yeah, certain ones up to 25 or 30 of them.
Whatever. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Then you probably own them.
Oh, very cool.
Some of the video ones.
You never own it, but I have rights forever on all of them. Yeah.
Some of the video ones, the second you give up the
I just go to them. Otherwise, it's a pain in the neck.
Monthly, you give up.
That would be ridiculous, Mark.
Well, not if you're only running a campaign for 2 months and you never use it.
Yeah. But I like to have.
I have Al Ramos on for that John Elway call, and then I told him what you said about.
Does he have a special for me to lead him in?
Yes.
What is it?
Well, I thought you were leading him into that. He started telling me it's $49.95 for something. Do you want me to find out and put it on the screen?
No, yeah, because I want to make it, just so I can make it sound like I'm going to drag it out of what?
Hey, Tom, did you find my listings on MLS or Zillow? Because Zillow has it wrong. They only put 25% of our inventory on there, so I have to manually upload everything again.
I looked at real estate. I looked at spending that home. I forget what website it was, but
They said there's $2 trillion in home equity.
Colorado.
I found all realtor, how many listings you have, how many closed, how many.
We closed over 100, but guess what? Zillow gives us credit for like
quarter that, so we got to upload those manually.
I wanted to see how
Why do they do
my
that?
sponsors were doing, so I just look at stats. And I asked, I think a title company did it for me, and they had every closing you've done, they have every listing. You had a shitload of listings.
Guess what?
You had more than, do you realize you're one of the top 5% in the city?
Oh, yeah.
City?
Yeah.
In the whole state? Yeah. For
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Handyman matters. They do, and you can have a handyman anytime by just calling them. Handyman Matters. We love them. They have been on my referral list almost since day one. I remember when, I think it was Andy Bell, started Handyman Matters, and they continue strong, of course. And again, if you need them, Mark, do you have the phone number right handy? I had it just a minute ago. I don't know why I don't have it.
303-727-9600.
727-9600.
Any kind of repairs.
And Andy Bell started and he franchised it, and then Glenn took over.
And Sandy,
yeah, Glenn and Sandy. That's what I meant. And Sandy's really the brains. I'm sorry, Glenn. But they run a great shop. You can hire them by a half day or whole day and let them do your whole honey-do list, or just call them for a job. And they do things like, they can do electrical fixtures and things that don't require a lot of the permits and stuff. And they can do a lot of minor plumbing jobs. They can do
ceiling fans.
They can do fences.
Painting.
They can do drywall repair, painting.
New doors.
Trim. So that's Handyman Matters, 303-727-9600. Welcome to the show. You heard Frank Duran before the break. We were talking about real estate and where it's going. And is it a bubble? Is it a bubble, or is it sustained growth that will actually be here for a very, very long time? The reason I say that is when I looked at commercial property downtown years ago, it was selling for around $60 to $80 a foot. It went down to $30 a foot. Now that was a bubble if it goes to 30, but now it's up to $250 to $300 or more. So how does it swing that fast? And if it is up that high, will it go back down? Or are things going to sustain themselves? Mark, do you feel our economy right now is a sustained growth that will maintain?
Yes, and ultimately, long term, it will, of course, go up. The home values go up. Everything.
Long term it does, but do you see any bubble? Or
not this year. Not in Denver.
But you don't feel, for example...
Not in Denver homes. No, I don't. There's no inventory. There's no inventory.
Let me just take
if you have a job here, you need to live somewhere.
Let me just take a home as an example. Just, let's say someone we know. How much is that home worth?
$1 million.
Okay. Do you think it will be worth $1 million and more as we go on, or do you think it'll correct down to 700 or 800? See, that's
5%.
That's I'm asking. I know things are appreciating, but will we see another correction? Yeah, what Mark says is if you draw a chalk line for years and years, real estate will always go up.
Same with 90% plus of stocks.
Right, but you still have corrections in between, which can really hurt. Anyway. It is a real estate day. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, is with us. We also have Stephanie Thomas with us, and she's our representative in Colorado Springs. You're Remax in Colorado Springs. What Remax are you with?
Remax Millennium.
Millennium, yes. Okay, and of course, we love the job you do there, Stephanie, and then we have Brent Ivinson from Ideal Home Loans, because today is real estate. So now that doesn't mean we're going to limit you. If you have a question about real estate, call us. Hey, if you have a question about lending, call us.
Real quick, the tech boom, where a lot of people lost a lot of money, or after the boom, I should say.
Yeah, that was the first recession.
If they hung on, though, you said these bumps can hurt you. That's true, but if they hung on and they were still in the stock market, they'd be way better off.
Right. People panicked and sold. But Mark, in my case with commercial real estate, and all my...
That's when the bank says, hey, commercial real estate money's due. It's due. It's not your house.
Right. It's not the same.
You could have been making every payment, not missed one payment ever.
I didn't.
And they can call the loan.
I didn't. I didn't miss one payment. That was the problem. Had I held on to those properties, they would have been worth triple.
You wouldn't be sitting here.
Triple. That's right. That's the problem. Now, Brent Ivinson, Ideal Home Loans, quickly, do you believe that we are in somewhat of a bubble? I mean, you're in the business where you have to risk your money. You loan based on value, and you are a direct lender. So, do you ever sit and think about a bubble, or do you think it'll have sustained growth?
So the individual who runs the appraisal management group that we use, who is a local guy, made this comment to me. He said, when you stand in your own home and you are unwilling to pay what you could sell your own home for, we got a bubble.
I said the same thing. And you remember, this happened to me when I had my home. It was appraised one time, this was years ago, $3.5 million, and I would have never, ever, ever, ever paid $3.5 million for that home and that estate. I built it for $795 plus land, and never would it be worth that. Never. I mean, so I agree with you on that. And what I'm trying to say is, I don't believe we always have bubbles, but it seems too fast right now, the real estate, too fast. So let's talk to Bill, and then Bill, go ahead.
Okay, hey, I got a question. I had a couple of statements after the question. What the heck? I seen on the news was that thing about prepaying your property taxes or something?
Prepaying? You can always prepay.
Well, I know, but it was something that...
They were saying if you prepaid them, then if it's over $10,000, if you're over the new tax increases, if you pay them next year, if you pay them this year for next year, it won't affect you. But that's only if the counties accept the payment now for then.
But what does that mean? What's the what benefit is paying it?
If you pay it now, you can write off the entire thing on your tax return.
Because they're no longer going to allow you to do that.
Correct.
I get you.
Well, they're not going to allow certain people, depending on how much everything is.
Bill,
what is it? $750,000, then $10,000 on salt.
Yep.
But anyway.
Go.
Okay. But you know, as far as real estate, we've been in our house for 34 years. I'm about 5 minutes out of downtown Denver, and I've got a half an acre of zoned horse property.
Really? Where are you? I mean, not your
Lakewood,
address, but where are you?
Yeah, Lakewood, Kipling and Colfax.
Okay.
And I still got the zoning.
And what is your appraisal?
We haven't really done one, but I know the houses around me.
What are they selling for?
Over $500,000.
And what did you buy for?
75.
That was years 25. What was it worth, let's say, in the mid 90s?
Well, just about 5 or 10 years ago, we were thinking about moving.
Yeah.
It was around $350. But this stuff it sells.
See, that sounds like what you're saying is it went up $100,000 a year after that. So anyway, what else do you have to say about real estate, Bill?
Okay, well, no, that my other thing, as far as investment.
Yes.
Thank God for the stock market, because I gambled, and I'm not a gambler. And I took my 401 and I rolled it over and opened up a brokerage account. And I've tripled.
Oh, cool. But you have to babysit.
Well, now it's an IRA.
You have to really babysit to do that, though. It's very important. Okay, listen.
He brings something up, though, that's interesting. When you say Brett, you said your guy you were talking to would not pay that much for his own house he was in.
Yeah.
Well, my God, if you bought it in the 50s, that house could have been $30,000. At some point, there's a reality there.
What we're saying is, if the appraisal now is a price that you would be unwilling to pay for that house, that tells you something. And that's what I mean. When I was sitting in that house years ago in Franktown and they said it was worth 3.5, I said, well, if I was shopping, I wouldn't pay near that. I mean, maybe 1.5.
I bet it's 4 now.
Well, I have no idea what it would be worth right now, but somebody's living in it. Hold on now. This is really important. We have a follow-up. Mike, with the scratched wheels, they told Mike at John Elway dealership. Which John Elway is this, Suzanne?
John Elway Chevrolet.
Mike, which one?
South Broadway.
Okay, it's what used to be Burt Chevrolet years ago is now John Elway, and they scratched the lug nuts and the wheels on your car. You had them custom painted professionally by a body shop. Here's the point. They said, look, you should have told us they were painted wheels. And I said, how ridiculous is that? When you go somewhere for tires, why would it be your responsibility to inform the professional? So, Al, I know I'm putting you on the spot because you can say anything you want and say, oh, I'd never do that, but I need to know, would you expect someone to tell you the wheels were custom painted? If someone came to you with a SUV custom painted pimp wheels and you put it on the machine and they chip, what would you do? Al Aram. Oh, I gotta take him. Go ahead, Al Aramis. Tell me about it.
I'm on.
Yeah, tell me. What would you do in that case?
First, number one,
if you have something custom, I think it's always important to tell people what you got.
Yeah, but do you really believe it exonerates them because he didn't say, by the way, I have custom painted wheels? Can't you see that when you put them, when you take them off and look at them?
No, let me explain something to you. There's a ton of custom rims. I've put $1,500 a piece rims on cars, custom cars that I've had.
Yeah.
They will take and anodize lug nuts to match colors.
Yes.
Then you never have an issue.
Okay.
When you paint them, there's no way for it to bond. I know that sending them out to have them painted.
So you're saying truly painting is much different than if they were anodized, and they had no idea they were anodized.
Right. So
okay.
You have to understand. Okay, who's doing the tire work? It's probably somebody that does preventive maintenance, lower guy.
No, but yeah, you're right. You're right. It's not a top-notch mechanic.
You're asking me a question. I want to give you an answer.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're just trying to get stuff done. I get it. It really sucks when you have a rim that's custom and painted. Now you have to go redo the whole thing. It is so important for you to tell me this. I need to know this. I need to know some of this stuff. And I'm not trying to find a way out for anybody.
No, I know.
If they damage the rim by denting it,
yeah,
then it's their responsibility. If in the process of taking lug nuts or rims off and on, paint comes off, that's something that happens. You have to
Al, I love what you're saying. You gave me a direct answer. Now I need to switch topics, though. Because of that, I'm going to make you do something right now. I want you to offer a screaming deal right now. Tell me what it is.
Well, full synthetic. Almost all the new cars have moved to that. Zero weight.
Full.
I tell you, folks, if you need to run that, run it. Do not try to become smarter than the manufacturer. Those cars require it. I'm going to do full synthetic oil change, $49.95 on most vehicles. I won't do exotic oils,
right,
the Mercedes oil, or the specialty brand. The stuff I have in stock, $49.95, full synthetic.
And that's with the filter, right?
Throw in a tire rotation.
No, he won't. Well,
all right, Mark. Put me on spot. You got it.
Really? Okay. No. That's a really great deal, Al. Thank you. This is truly on the spot. $49.95 full synthetic oil change. Full synthetic oil change and a tire rotation. $49.95. This is good. 303 Pro Auto near Evans and I-25 near Bowles and Santa Fe. 2 locations. 303 Pro Auto.
You're doing a 1%.
Hi,
it's Bodie.
No, we're not. Not unless you're providing the money privately.
Yeah, he will. 1%, that's good.
Here, hang on real quick. Went up 50 basis points, So the big tax news on our side of the fence is second homes no longer tax deductible. Investment properties still tax deductible.
So, wait. Second homes were never, were they?
Oh, yeah. You can write the interest off on second homes.
Second mortgages was good for you, no longer.
Yes.
If you have a second, you cannot write it off anymore. So therefore, you refi, then you can write it off up to X amount. There's no reason for anybody to do a second anymore. They can do cash out, right?
So 4.5% is the current prime rate.
For 30?
No, well, that's prime. The current 30-year fixed rate is right at 3.99, just below 4%. And that's like 90, like 0.9%.
I am so glad. I got 2.6. Yeah, we're not.
Hey, Brent, current tax reform is still two.
I don't
2 out of 5 years.
Yes.
But that was just proposed. A lot of people hit the panic button thinking that's
I think all properties up to 10 grand. Is that correct, Brent?
Okay.
If you have multiple homes.
That's the way I understood it. From our account.
Investment house, the interest rate was never written off.
Well, if it's an investment.
Investment property?
Actually, I might.
No, you carried it over your schedule. You carried it over your schedule.
I'm sure there's some bugs.
You wrote it off that way. You wrote it off that way.
Appreciation.
Pardon me, guys, real quick. The One Source Auto gal, remember the owner came on last Friday and said there was nothing wrong with that vehicle, the One Source Auto dealership. So you said, when you were doing the show, have her take it to Budget A1. So she's on. Budget A1 told her this morning the vehicle's completely unsafe. So do we want to do that update today?
Tell me what happened. She bought the car
What was it? She bought the car.
No, I want to do it on a car
One Source Auto.
One Source Auto Jeep. This is the Jeep that was lifted.
Oh, it's a lifted one. I remember.
I want to do it on a car day.
So you don't want to do it today?
But what is her claim? She bought it as is, or what?
She definitely bought it as is.
And it's unsafe.
Yes. So the dealership came on and told me
that vehicle is safe, there's no problems with it, and I pinned them down. I said, if there is big problems with it, and we can show you where they are you going to fix it for, and they agreed.
So do we, so but we want to hold off?
I want to pull that segment that he had.
So do we want to hold that off till
Yes,
Friday?
we do. But
Okay.
I want someone, if we can find it.
Yeah, where they agreed, because I pushed them at the end really hard on that.
Dan, what they
were
came
here
on in the
doing
first hour on Friday, right?
Yes.
Mark, I want to put that on. That would be good.
5, is that Friday?
He'll have an approximate time.
It was the very first one, is right, right.
Lifted Jeep.
Lifted Jeep, right.
Didn't I press them at the end that they fix it or not?
Right.
Yes.
Was that?
And I remember
I
saying,
have their.
no, he seemed like a great guy. But here's the problem, it's a lifted Jeep. I don't know what they mean by unsafe. A lifted Jeep in general is unsafe, right?
What's your I would never, and she allowed us.
We have like 6,708 homes. That includes condos. If you take condos out of that mix, we're just maybe under 4,000 residential listings, maybe a little over 4,000.
7 county metro.
County Denver, all Denver metro. Whoa. Look at that.
Our MLS.
Oh, we're getting that right for December. That was the inventory for December.
No, fried chicken in a waffle.
In other words, if no more homes went up for sale, you get that inventory
with cinnamon maple.
You know what?
Oh.
That is really a good idea.
Oh my God!
Mark, you know, that's a good idea.
Listen to this. Fried chicken in a waffle cone drizzled with cinnamon maple. Oh! I just had an orgasm.
And we're on.
I'm moving away.
Yeah. Come on, sit over here.
God, I can't believe how good that looks. For like at a fair, out of a food truck.
You know what, though? That, when you think about it, that's a good idea.
At Iowa State Fair, they have fried butter. Deep fast fried butter.
15-year, 3 and 5/8.
I don't spend all day, but I do the best I
Is
can.
that the
But
best? That depends on your.
if they're in the content,
So you
I
got
genuinely go.
80% loan to value.
What I do
refinance,
though is insert
40 credit score, 32%
the
CPI.
stinger, because we don't have stingers in the third. Good job. Maybe I won't be as mad anymore.
Glenn Beck tonight at 7, only on Denver's Talk Station, 630.
They got to give me access, man. That's what fixes the whole issue.
Yeah, and I've been here the longest of anyone in the building. I'm the longest seniority, and I don't have access.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Today is Real Estate Day. Frank Brand, the Real Estate Man, is with us. Remax Alliance. We have Stephanie Thomas of Remax Millennium with us, and we have Brent Ivinson from Ideal Home Loans. I'm going to go to the phones. So Al Aramis basically summed it up and said, look, if you have a painted rim, there's no way for us to know, and most of them are anodized, and if the paint chips, that's just something that happens. Paint isn't meant to hold up to everything, and off the air he even said, look, Tom, you know, they're not doing anything negligent. They're simply taking it on and off. Now, I know Mike's going to say this. I know what he's going to say. He's going to say, but I had other ones done at other places, and not a speck of damage was done. I agree that there's something maybe wrong, but it's nothing that really is going to be settled. They refuse to fix it. So you're going to have to head to small claims court. Now listen, Mark has become quite the professional small claims, suing people, and he's been doing it. I've been watching, and it's fun.
I got
Mike,
a case tomorrow.
Do you think Mike will win based on that invoice?
Oh, that invoice is
on the radio show?
Absolute no-brainer.
But it's an admission that they did it.
That's right.
But it's not an admission that they did something negligent.
I don't know. Read it again.
Okay.
Read it
so anyway,
again.
Mike, you should take them to small claims court. You know, how much will that cost to have them redone?
Not too much. Probably not as much as it would cost to go to court.
No, small claims court is
It's $55.
Oh, $50, man.
All you're going to have to do is show up there with your story and that invoice.
Yeah, you can go to small claims court for $7,500 and under. So if you're asking for $1,000, it'll cost you about $55, and you send it to them. You don't even have to. Oh, you should serve them. I think some places allow you to do mail, but I would serve them. And I would serve the service manager who you talk to, the guy who did the work, and the dealership. I would put all of them on there.
They're big enough. Honestly, I just do the dealership, and then you'll be able to serve them right at their registered agent, which will be right on SOS. Because Elway's big enough, they're easy.
On
man.
SOS, tell them what that...
Colorado Secretary of State, it'll actually give the address to go deliver it. But you need to hand deliver it. But you can't. You got to have someone else do it.
You have to have someone serve it.
Yeah, a buddy can do it.
Mike, get it done and let us know what happens. I don't know. Scott has a question about real estate or a comment. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Scott. What's your comment?
So I got a quick question. What's the average commission for a buyer and a selling agent when I'm trying to sell my residential property?
Okay, so when you guys list a property, Stephanie, what is standard? Now, I know that you can negotiate anything, but what is standard or average when you list a property?
Well, there's no set commission.
I understand, but what is...
For both sides, say 6%, and we would split that between the two agents.
And how you split it is up to you, but that is not set in stone. That can be negotiated. But
absolutely.
Of that 6%, usually what does the listing broker get?
I would take half of that myself, but then I'm incurring all my listing costs.
I'm talking about the industry,
3%.
not you. 3%?
Yeah, 3%.
Okay, and of that 3%, you're listing it, but you have to share that with your manager.
You do. Your broker, then you've got,
all your costs. Okay, on the other
yeah.
side, the other 3%, the buyer broker, they usually get the 3 too. So 3.
Correct, and then they would still share with their broker, whatever their splits are.
So that's what it is, Scott. Usually 6%. Usually.
You guys are awesome, and you do a great service for the community.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Okay, what's going on in your life? Let's talk to Derek. Derek, what's happening?
Yeah, I have a question about employment offer that my company doesn't seem to be holding up to.
What do you mean?
So, about a year ago, my company picked up another contract.
Yeah.
All the technicians had to sign a new offer letter. In that offer letter, they said that we're going to be going an hourly rate when we were getting paid a piece rate.
Okay, so, Derek, this was an offer letter. Was it the same letter to all of you?
There was, I believe, 5 technicians that received that.
Did it require a signature?
It did.
It did. Of acknowledgement, right?
Correct, and acceptance.
Of acceptance, okay. And basically they were going to hourly.
Yes, with the promise of going to piece rate sometime in 2017.
Well,
what is piece rate?
By the job, by how much you do.
Exactly.
And they can do a combination. But let's say you're a tire guy. Each tire? Let's say you do 100 tires in a day.
Yeah, $5 a tire,
or whatever. Okay, now, Derek, what's the problem? Let's get right to it. What is it? What's the problem?
Well, the problem is they said that they were going to go piece rate in 2017, and they
well, I don't know how they
was cut.
I don't know how they did how they promised that, but what happened instead?
They kept my pay at an hourly rate. They strung all the technicians along, saying that we're going to go to piece rate sometime in 2017. Just keep waiting. And my pay was cut by 1/3 to 1/2 in 2017.
Wait, hold on. Not only did they not go to piece rate, they decreased what? Your hourly?
Correct. So
you were getting so much an hour, and just out of the blue, they reduced how much you get per hour.
When we signed on with the new company, the new contract that we picked up, we had to sign the new offer letters.
You said that. You said that.
Before we were getting piece rate, with this new offer letter, they're saying that we're going to go to hourly rate, but that hourly rate was a drop in pay by 1/3.
Okay, I get you. What was the hourly rate you agreed to?
2021.
2021. Okay, and they said take the 2021, and in 2017 we're going to go back to piece rate.
Correct.
All right, hold on, and we'll see where this is going, because I believe, Derek, you did not have a contract. You had an offer, and it might be too hazy. I need to see it. Suzanne, see if you can get us that letter.
He might not have it.
I'll come back to you. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Fuller Law, John Fuller, he's a personal injury attorney, and when I tell you he is the best, I mean it. Why do I say it? Because he knows where to find the money. That is important. Yes, that's what attorneys do. If you don't have anything to collect, don't get an attorney. If you have a small case, John will tell you how to do it on your own. But one thing he knows is how to find money with insurance companies, with other parties, with manufacturers, with property owners, whether it's a property accident or, of course, motor vehicle accidents. That's what he does most of, and he can be on your side. Always call if you're injured. Always. Always. It's free. And get advice, even if you don't think you'll need an attorney or need court. Call for free advice. And if he takes the case, it's no cost to you up front, no cost to you until you collect. Then he takes a small portion. 303-597-4500, 597-4500. His website, personalinjuryco.com.
Literally, thank God they didn't have the memo.
Drive on I-25 downtown is in decent shape. Earlier delays.
Are you finding the new Fannie loan limits are helping out?
Pretty much back up.
What, I would run across it much.
So the expanded Fannie loan limit in most 7 county metros, 529, 529,000 up from 493, and then the standard
loan, not the value.
Yeah, for the loan, and then the standard Fannie Mae loan limit got increased to 453,100, up from 424,100.
That seems kind of low for here, doesn't it?
It does for here. That's why, you know, they gave that expanded criteria to 529, but that still doesn't.
How about, yeah, that doesn't even cover, like, probably your medium house in Hollings Ranch now, right? Or does it?
You know, it might not. That's a good question. You've got a lot of stuff selling out there for, because we live out on the Gulf, and it's, you got stuff selling for all over the back country. The amazing thing is you got people that bought stuff in the back country in 13 and 14 for $850,000. They're trying to sell it for 1.2, 1.3. I'm looking at going, somebody's got to look at this and go, wait a minute, so it's gone up how much?
Yeah.
That's where I think the bubble piece of it comes in. Is I just think, you know, I don't think you're seeing these crazy appreciation rates in the higher price stuff, but that number keeps creeping up. You know, it's going up and up and up.
I think 5% this year, maybe 7%. Yeah. There's KB homes in between Town and Parker that are one story, maybe 1,500 square feet. Literally, I could jump from one roof to the other, tiny lots. They're $420,000 base.
So we have a townhome that we're doing tomorrow in Solterra, 1,600 square feet. $485,000.
Wow. What's the appraisal come in at?
Right about there, right at it. It's crazy. I mean, look,
townhomes scare the shit out of me.
Oh, for sure.
All these apartments, everything they're building everywhere.
Anything attached or condo typically gets soft first over anything else.
So, well, think about all the ones that building.
Builders are slow. They're not getting no properties on the market.
Yeah, but a lot of times they'll let it convert.
We need 100,000 people moving to town a year. Interest rates are still low. And there's no inventory. I mean, that's the perfect storm for values to continue to rise, at least this next year.
The only challenge with that is this, is that wages are still relatively flat. So at some point you're going to get to an affordability issue for a number of people. It's not here in every situation.
Well, jobs,
when jobs, you know, job market's good, but the wage market is just literally like a table. I don't know, it's crazy.
But you know what I'm seeing more of? Versus back in 08. I'm seeing more people put skin in the game now than versus taking out these
For the
loans.
employment, I printed a copy
They're putting
when
down
we have time to read it real quick.
Right, for sure.
At least they have enough down where, if God forbid we hit another bubble, I don't think they're going to be as bad a shape as we saw. The people that were overvalued on their homes and had no skin in the game, you know.
What's Mikey doing today?
My Michael?
Yeah.
In front of his
It's not
computer.
Mike, it's Michael.
What?
He's in front of his computer already. It's working.
He was emailing me early, for him, real early. Like 6:30 in the morning. I'm thinking, shit, he was up all night with the damn Iranians or whoever.
He was, yeah, I think he ended up coming to bed somewhere close to 3. So, yeah.
I think you including our ratings now? I thought it was Pakistan.
I'm averaging 100.
It was within.
100.
What about the Kodak currency? What do you make of that?
Average acre.
Oh, I just seen that.
So when I say bracketing, it works.
Well, Kodak's coming out with their own cryptocurrency. Their stock price tripled
104% of
when they announced it.
Isn't that amazing? Of course,
Well, there's no such thing as a fucking camera.
It's just strategy.
And
No,
there's
just
It's not just strategy, but
GoPro should have fucking came up with that idea. Now that they crashed.
Mark,
when you buy
it's very
Amazon
jolly.
goods.
But I am saying, I commented him on that last time. He said, he has a company that does
I'm not
that are very intense.
I don't know. Maybe it's making
Find that
coffee.
right. Find that pulse.
I didn't. If you're really paying that,
That's what he's
I'd be curious to see what you're
I said 9 because I had one set of cost maybe.
I had a guy roll over his IRA, his 401k into a property deal, and that's expensive. I mean, really.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. If you're looking for stem cell therapy, please go to a genuine stem cell clinic. How do you know they're genuine? First of all, the only way to get true living stem cells is if you get the actual stem cells harvested from you at the time of the treatment. They're not allowed to ship live stem cells. They would have to manipulate them too much. Just make a long story short, these chiropractic guys that send in fluids, they're not living stem cells. And I will bet them $100,000 that they're not living stem cells. Any one of you who wants to defy that. Okay? Now, real living stem cells, Centeno Schultz, he was the first one to employ living stem cells in a clinical setting in the United States. 303-963-9201, Dr. Chris Centeno and his team always insist on MDs, no matter where you go, insist on guided imaging for the needles themselves, that not blind shots, and then also insist on living stem cells. And you get all of that at Centeno Schultz for all of your joints, knees, hips, back, shoulders, hands. They have the best results with ACL tears. Without surgery, they heal them. That's right. They can fix them. So, 303-963-9201, 303-963-9201, Centeno Schultz on my referral list at referralist.com. Okay, let's keep going here. It's Real Estate Day. We got a lot going on, and Derek has this. Did you get the letter from Derek, Mark?
Yeah, I read it.
Okay,
it's interesting.
Yeah, I have it here too. So here's the deal. Derek has a new company took over, and they said to him, we're going to hourly. Here's the offer. They made an offer in writing, and they said you have to accept it. So he accepted it, and then they said sometime, according to him, in 2017, we'll go back to piece rate. They did not go back to piece rate. As a result of going to hourly, his pay was cut by what percent there, Derek?
By 1/3 to 1/2.
My God, that's a lot of money to lose. So what I see here is I see where you say your initial full-time non-exempt rate of pay will be 2012, by the way, it's not 2021, but 2012, right, which is not a big deal, $20.12, okay? Hourly, less applicable taxes and withholdings. You will receive overtime wages and according to law, okay? And then it says, be advised that Vitavid, whatever the company, will be going to the piece rate pay model sometime in 2017. Okay, they actually do say that. And it says, and your pay will be determined in accordance to the piece rate model.
I'm not sure that means. If you read above, though, it says your initial pay is this hourly.
Right.
And you will receive overtime, blah, blah, blah.
This is not a contract, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
it is not a contract.
I don't think you could hold, if they decided sometime in 17
not
to go to this
model.
model.
I would like to ask an employment attorney about this, because while it is not, I don't know, it's not a contract, but maybe we can get an opinion.
But they can change pay anytime they want.
Yeah, but Mark, I don't know. They did put this in writing, and
but we don't have a dollar amount. It doesn't say it's going to be more money. It just says it's going to be different.
Yeah. Why don't you, Derek, let's do some follow-up on this and then see what we can find out. I'm going to give it to Deputy Clint to look into, and we'll see what we can find out, just informationally, okay? I'm Tom Martino. We got a lot of important information. Stick around.
Have you ever wanted to refinance your mortgage but didn't want to start a 30-year loan all over again?
I can say, hey, I'm giving you $10 an hour now. Sometime in 17, I'll give you $15 an hour, and then change my mind.
But Mark, if I wrote a letter saying I'm going to go to piece rate, I promise you, okay, I have, you're on salary, but I know you work a lot. So sometime in 2017, I put it in writing, I'm going to put you on hourly, and I don't do it. I don't know. I mean, you're right. It doesn't promise more money, but it is. I can see.
Why can't they change their mind? Why can't they change their mind? Is all I'm saying.
Oh, I know they can, but you know how people
they'll
I don't know. They might cause problems, especially when you push it right. Companies never push it right.
It's gone 4x?
I don't know if it started right. I would like to ask somebody.
That makes no sense to me. Kodak is in the last 2 days.
Mark, we don't have Sean Olson anymore, do we?
The Olson Law Firm? No. Did he go to PI, personal injury? Is he on the list?
He's not doing personal injury, or not doing.
I thought he was doing personal injury. Why would he be on that?
Real quick.
Somebody should try.
I have a feeling what happened is the rate, we probably sent him a ton of leads in that, but the leads, of course, are.
People can't afford, people that go to employment law don't have money.
Okay, real
But
quick.
I'm saying, we should have Nate or somebody.
I've asked him, I've talked to him.
Sean?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was.
By the way, Nate might take another job, and he said he would do this on the side. Nate's a good guy, and I believe him, and I said, there's no harm. If you can do it, let's do it. But if he abandons the accounts, he doesn't get what he's
Real
owed.
quick, remember the guy the other day with the apartment and the ADA dogs and the landlords making me get out? So I'm coordinating him and our ADA expert to come on and talk about that. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Got a lot going on.
So Kodak back in the day when it was hammering, they had a CEO named Bob Keegan. Bob Keegan was unbelievable. He brought Kodak to, in the 90s, about as high as you could get. He was thinking digital. He was actually going with it.
Wow.
Do you have any Bitcoin? In any of the cryptocurrencies?
No, because this asshole. I was going to buy it when it was around $1,000, and he started.
I say buy it.
What is it now?
Buy it now, Mark.
15 grand. He starts telling me the only thing it's used for is cocaine and heroin and hookers. And I said, so I'll have plenty of places to spend it.
He put like 3 grand in it, and then when it went up to 9, he pulled his 3 off the table, and then
And then invested with the other money.
and then just left the house money on the table. But I agree with you. Like I just don't.
So what does he have?
I don't know what he's got. It's hilarious though, because he'll follow it all day long. He gets all excited about it. I'm like, Skip, again, what is the intrinsic value?
How did he cash out? How did he?
You've got to have. So here's the other thing: is he's invested in a couple of them. So you have to have Bitcoin to be able to get access to others.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a whole like.
It's a world.
It is.
It is. Absolutely it is. Just like when baseball cards jumped way up. What happened? More companies started printing out baseball cards.
The clock is ticking.
Same thing.
Every day you
Only
put
you don't
on
have
life
the
insurance
cards.
can cost you.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
talking that baseball cards.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you what a Bitcoin looks like. Okay?
Yeah, it looks like.
They have them all the time. It's right here.
Here we go.
There it is.
Go find one.
That's the Bitcoin.
Go find one.
No obligation.
I can print them all day long.
Have a choice of your best rates from up to 10 highly rated life insurance companies.
They always look just like that, though, don't they? Any news article you see, they make a Bitcoin look just like that.
A 10-year, $500.
That must
But
be their
nobody has
actual
one.
logo.
Nobody has one.
I bet. Okay. So are you saying that's not real?
I'm saying you can't take that and say, okay, here's my Bitcoin.
How do you know?
Okay.
You're telling me no one's got a real Bitcoin?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, watch. We are betting more. Is there, and we'll let
That's
Google
usable.
Is there a real Bitcoin?
Or go to select.
No, you can't change the bet now.
But
We shop. You say.
then what? It's usable, of course.
Right here. Here you go. Boom. 10 physical Bitcoins. Bam. You owe me.
I know, but
You owe me.
No.
Lunch. Physical Bitcoins have been around for years.
But they're not usable.
Where does it say they're not usable?
Save money on Medicare Part D prescriptions as a preferred pharmacy. Walgreens
Look.
offers copays as low as $0 on
That's just 2. 2 out of 10. There's Titan. There's Crypto Mint.
Today.
There's Anita.
Since
Oh, there's a bunch of them. There's like, I mean,
They all, my point is, they all actually do have a real coin somewhere.
Right, but it's not used anywhere near what Bitcoins are now. It's unusable. That's the worst
It's usable.
argument.
Okay, so if I had a real Bitcoin, you're saying it's not worth anything and I can't use it?
No, I'm saying it's not worth what a Bitcoin is.
How do you know?
Okay, go get one. Go pay $14,000 for that one.
Well, you're saying go pay it and then try to collect it. You say, right?
That's not what he said. He said you can't use it. Of course you can use it. I can trade you a widget for
Yeah,
a phone
why are
if
you
want
such
to
a
do it.
troublemaker? Gee,
God, he just starts with me every day.
Every day.
Nonstop.
But Dan, on a serious note, can you explain what you're saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying that Bitcoin is not a physical Bitcoin that coincides with Bitcoins digitally. There's not a physical Bitcoin that you can go and use it and say, hey, this is now worth $14,000.
It's right there.
Now, you've heard me talk
we'll
about
buy it for $10,000.
extensive
I wouldn't
research,
buy it.
which led me to Centennial Schultz Clinic right here in Colorado. They're
is
independently
Bitcoin.
recognized for their work with stem cells. They're all MDs working with true living stem cells.
I can trade anything for anything. This has a value. Even though it's not much, it has a value. I could trade this for $1. You'd probably pay $1 for a Samsung phone.
Why would you go to
right here. You said, okay, here's $1.
Centennial Schultz can help you with painful joints, knees, hips, back, shoulders, hands. They can repair most ACL tears with a needle instead of a knife.
Did you see a bunch of stuff start coming back on last week or no? Still pretty slow? You'd have a lot of people that left stuff off for the holidays or took stuff off for the holidays and put stuff back on.
Two elections decided to wait till after until February. So those got postponed, and then the two I'm just listing now, so it's okay. But
You're the one that's
You may not want to go back to 30 years.
For sure. I mean, I would know if I was on your side of the fence, exactly what I was on my mind. Hey, look, we're seeing pressure now. The rates, 10-year broke 250. So that's likely going to move them up.
What can you get a 15-year right now for?
3.625.
Wow.
So 3.58.
Mine was 2.625. That's what I'm on.
You got the low.
I think I got the bottom.
Oh, for sure.
This is the Troubleshooter.
It's still amazing how much interest you pay over 15 years.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. All you have to do is give me a call. The longest running show in radio with the same host. We really love what we do. Recovering millions of dollars in cash merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. Today is Real Estate Day. We never confine ourselves to one topic, but we do weave a topic. Today is real estate. We have Brent Ivinson from Ideal Home Loans. And really, there are a lot of questions about loans. We're talking behind the scenes. We'll get back to it. Then we have Stephanie Thomas, Colorado Springs area for RE/MAX Millennium. And we have Frank Duran, the real estate man, for RE/MAX Alliance here in the Denver metro area. And if you have any questions for him, go. And if you have any emails, send. We'll take care of them, okay? Let's go to the phones now and take care of you. We try to solve every problem, but I believe even when we don't solve a problem, we give you good advice. What's going on with Raphael?
How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing pretty good, Raphael. What's going on with you?
Not too bad. I had asked you before about the DNA testing before, and I've decided to do it now for sure. But
now, are you talking about the DNA? Are you talking about the DNA testing where they tell you your heritage right down to like 2%, 1% this, and 50% this?
That one.
Yeah. Okay.
Tom, I just got
because there's another DNA test that tells people what medications will work for them and what won't, and what conflicts with what.
Yeah. The one she got me has both.
The Health and the Ancestry 23andMe.
How much?
It was $180, but he hasn't done the test yet to send it in.
Oh, but you have it.
Then you get a login, and you get matched up with other people around the world that's in the database.
What do you mean matched up?
Like an eighth cousin somewhere in Europe or something.
Oh, I thought you meant maybe you could. I thought maybe they said it. If you mate with this person, you'll get a genius.
I'm not trying to get rid of him.
No, I didn't mean like for him, but I thought maybe they could do combinations. Like this person versus mates with this person, we get a mass murderer. You never. Could you imagine though? Listen. Imagine the future if they could, like, say, this combination of genes will produce this, and they say to you, you have to have a DNA test to get married, and they say, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to get married unless you have a sterility done, because you and him would produce a Charlie Manson.
Netflix, Black Mirror, had that exact episode.
I love Black Mirror.
That was it. Everybody was predefined.
Did you see the new season?
Yeah.
We're in the middle of it now.
Wait. Did you see the Star Trek one with the guy trapped in a game?
I love it.
I haven't.
He trapped. Oh, my God.
It's great.
Raphael, so anyway, let's talk about the DNA test. What is your question?
So, like I said...
And turn down the radio if you can. I'm hearing an echo. Are you on a Bluetooth?
Yes, okay.
Okay, gotcha. Now that's better. Go ahead.
Okay, is it, so right when I decided to go ahead and do it, I started hearing some ads or some commentaries on TV about the scans behind the DNA testing, but I'm just wondering if you've heard of any of those.
Yes, there are a ton of them. There are a ton of them online where you send for the you don't sometimes they don't even send it. Other times they don't give you the results, or they just give you fake results.
Oh, okay, so they're not behind. Like if I go with the 23andMe, it's not those guys. It's just other.
I don't personally know about 23andMe, but that is a very, very popular one.
It's one of the biggest.
Why do they call it 23andMe?
23
chromosomes
or something like that.
It just had the best reviews, Tom,
Yeah.
and had the most reviews on Amazon.
Raphael, I would say go ahead.
Send me $12. I'll tell you where you're from.
Yeah. No, wait. Yeah, tell you where you're from. Wait, no, that's a hard one. You can, Raphael, I would say 23andMe is a safe bet. No, Mark has this stupid little thing where I'll bet you I can...
You send me 20, I'll tell you where you got your shoes.
Right, where you got your shoes. That's the one he loves to say, where you got your shoes. And then people say, okay, tell me. He says, well, show them to me. And then you show him, and he says, and this is what's funny about it. These morons will laugh again.
Dumb,
where'd you get these shoes? Where you got your shoes on your feet? See? And every time these two morons laugh like it's the first time they heard it. Every single time. They have people every day they say that to. Oh God. Anyway, I did one to him one time. He thought it was funny. I said,
yeah, but you stole mine.
I said, Mark, I'll bet you can't use your left hand. No, I didn't say that. Oh, this hand, I said. This hand. And I hold up my left hand. I bet you can't use this hand. I'll bet you in 30 seconds you won't use this hand.
Well, it's your hand.
Yeah, I know. But
you actually copied the shoe one with a shirt one day.
What did I say? I said...
You said to one of our guests, I bet you I know where you got that shirt.
Oh.
And he said, there's no way. And you said, you got it on your body.
Chris, what's going on with you? And Backus and Schenker, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Tom?
What's happening?
I'm basically partially disabled. I've got a C4 fusion that never took. And,
now, what do you mean it never took?
Well, I'll explain. Back in 2007, I was on I-25.
No, listen, Chris, I can't hear the story. I just don't have the time. It's not that I'm not interested. What I need to know is this. When you had a fusion to try to relieve the pain and stuff, what do you mean it did not take? It did not relieve the symptoms? Is that what you're saying? Or it wasn't really fused?
Okay, any fusion at all, if it does not fuse in 1 year, it never will.
Okay. So anyway, go on with your story then. You have a fuse that did not fuse, and you went to Backus and Schenker for what reason?
Okay, I was in a car accident last year, 2015, where I was rear-ended. So,
and that's not the reason for your back problem.
That's not the original reason.
Okay.
I have preconditions,
gotcha.
Which, is a hard case to fight.
Yeah.
However, anyways, they took the case on. We're going on 2.5 years of treatment. I've had several surgeries, and I'm in their office yesterday sitting down to do a demand letter. Okay?
A demand letter to who?
A demand letter to State Farm Insurance to settle a lawsuit.
Right, okay.
Okay, for being rear-ended. So it's pretty much closed-door case. I mean, it was rear-ended. We're going to, take care of it and who's liable for what they did. So, anyways, I'm in there doing a demand letter, and I'm going over each doctor with his assistant, who is Jennifer O'Connell's attorney.
So anyway, let's get to the hard part. What happened? What went wrong?
Well, I was trying to basically communicate with my attorney.
Mm-hmm.
On basically what's going to be covered, what's not going to be covered.
You were getting kind of frustrated, I feel.
Yeah, I was trying to communicate.
Right.
She says, Mr. Green, we don't like how you're talking to us.
Okay.
We think you're being very hostile.
Okay, I can see that. I can see. Yeah, I understand.
And I said, well, excuse me. I said, I've never threatened you.
Okay.
I'm a loud person. I'm a loud.
Right, I understand. Listen,
I'm not hostile.
I've had people tell me. Calm down.
Me too.
It's the personality. I can honestly see where that could happen. But then what happened? So, and by the way, when they tell you to calm down, it makes you even sometimes more pissed off. Anyway, what happened then?
Well, yeah, and I'm already suffering from chronic pain. So
Gotcha.
I really try to be patient.
I understand.
Cordial, you know, so anyways, they basically said, Mr. Grant, you have to leave the building. I said, excuse me?
Wow.
You have to leave the building.
Holy crap.
The way you're disrespecting me. I said,
wow.
Excuse me. You won't even let me talk. I've tried to get some kind of communication about the demand letter about these doctors.
Wow.
And you won't even let me speak like I'm cattle going through the slaughterhouse here.
Anyway, so without all the drama now, what happened? Get to it, man. What happened? They kicked you out?
Oh, yeah. They physically removed me from the building and told me to find new representation.
Well, they're allowed to. I mean,
that's that.
They're allowed to do that, bro. You know, they really are. They're allowed to do that. They don't want you.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you probably were a little rowdy, right?
I don't think.
I mean, we're going on 2.5 years of suffering.
I know.
So
Listen.
I'm frustrated. Of course. I'm in agony every waking moment. But that's besides the point. I do get to speak, and I do get to communicate with my attorney without being fired, don't I?
Yep. But you don't get to abuse them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wasn't there. But here's something I know for sure. They're not going to just do it for no reason, okay? They're not weird people, okay? They run a good shop, even though their initials are BS.
I talked to Kyle personally on the phone, and he told me that my case may not be a good fit, and I need a smaller law firm.
Well, that might be true.
They don't protect the little guy.
Well, no, they don't. But listen, it's not the little guy. It's not the big guy. They don't. Do you really care who their client? They don't care who their client is. What they care about are the damages. So don't say that they don't protect. What you're saying is they don't go after small damages, and you can say that for 99.9% of all personal injury attorneys. They will not put a lot of effort into a case that doesn't have major damages. Did they ever mention what your case is worth, basically? Did they ever just basically mention it?
We didn't even get that far. We were ready to settle punitive cash demands.
But did you have any idea ever what the damages would be? I'm trying to get an idea ever of what it would be.
I told them we wouldn't settle for less than in the millions because
oh my God,
I've got a broken neck, Tom.
But okay, well that's possible.
Did they have insurance though?
It's both insurers are covered under State Farm.
Yeah, but what are their limits?
Yeah.
You can't go beyond policy limits. I know people think they can, but in reality you can't. So tell me quickly, what was the policy limit? Do you know?
They didn't even tell me. That's why I'm so
If
frustrated.
the policy limit, most of the were these people like rich people that hit you, or were they, what are we talking about in reality?
No, it was just in reality I got a rear end.
No, I'm not asking about your injury. I'm asking about the people. The people.
It was a young man in his Jeep.
Okay, here's what I think. You're not going to get millions, sir. You're going to get the policy value. That's all you're going to get.
If BS actually smelled $1 million policy over there, they would have gave him a cappuccino and not thrown him out. I promise you.
They would have said, "Please."
Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. I've been waiting 2.5 years to write a demand letter. I finally get in the office and they throw me out. That's what's so hilarious.
Yeah. Well, there's really nothing you can do about it. I mean, there really isn't.
Well, all I'm saying, Tom, is they can have a little more empathy and ethics towards serving the public. And I can look at. Everybody can, and I agree. I'm really not trying to slough you off. I really do believe that you were hurt and that it hurt your feelings and it's not right. But I don't know. I wasn't there. So what do you want? What were you hoping for when you called us? Another referral? Because I don't know if how they're going to handle your case. Are they going to let you out with no fees? How are they going to handle it? They won't talk to us about your case unless you send them a letter and all this, and it's a pain in the ass. I just sent both of them an email. Kyle, I said, I'm going to be on the show. Why don't you call in?
Here's what I want to know. What do you want? Just please tell me that. What do you want? You called for a reason. How do we help you?
Tom, I'd like to get my attorney, Chris Elliott, on the phone.
What do you want, Chris? That part's not going to happen. So what do you want? The reason to call, did you want us to call them and raise hell? What do you want? Why would you want to, why would you want a law firm, though?
I called in to tell, I personally told Kyle.
Okay, listen, you're getting too much into the minutia here. You want to raise hell, okay? I mean, okay, you had your day. Chris, I don't know what to do to help you. I really don't, okay? I don't know. I think, though, you need to get some clarification. If a new attorney takes this, is it going to be no charge on their part? You know, Suzanne, we should at least call Backus and Schenker and ask them what they need to talk to us. What do they need to talk to us on this, okay? Because here's why. He'll send them an email or whatever. And here's why. He deserves to know what the termination means. Will they expect any payment? Can a new attorney take it over? Did they file a lawsuit? In other words, or is the statute of limitations up? I don't know. Did you file, just a simple yes or no, did they actually file a lawsuit yet? Chris?
Yeah, here was the problem.
Did they file a lawsuit, Chris?
I was going to file the lawsuit, and then I walked in the door.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I know you want to tell a story, Chris. The answer is no. They did not file a lawsuit. Do you know why I asked that, Chris? Because you have a statute of limitations that could tick away, and that's going to be dangerous. You would lose everything.
That's August 16th I have until file.
Okay, hold on, and here's what we need to know. What does Backus and Schenker need to talk to us? And then we need to get clarification for this guy. That's all we need to do.
I'd have him call.
I'm way over time. No, he can call John, and maybe John can find out. But frankly, I don't know how this guy is, and if he's hostile or not. Rocky's Autos, I do know that. 63rd and Federal. You can get a used car, truck, SUV, or van, and you'll find a giant selection at Rocky's. But you know when I say a giant selection, you know what I also like? Variety in financing. That means if you want to maybe borrow most of the money and have a small down payment, or maybe have, you know, like you want to pay a down payment with a credit card and you don't want a lender that cares about it, or you want to borrow some money from a family member to help you. There are 40 lenders, bottom line, 40 lenders to choose from. So you get selection in color, price, models, options, and lenders. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. Good people, great selection, and great deals. 303-426-4646. 303-426-4646.
I don't know what to say to him. You know,
he wants to bitch about
people aren't necessarily hostile, but they can get loud. And frankly, I believe people are too sensitive. I do. We have become too sensitive in this society.
Well, I'm like, I talk loud, so no matter what, if I get even remotely animated dolls, why are you yelling? It's like, oh, you'll know when I'm yelling.
But me, I get it all the time. I get it all the time. You know, thank God, you know, Stephanie knows me. She's just, I didn't care. But, oh my God, it's like, I'm so tired of people saying, calm down. Shut the hell up.
I am calm. You calm. Wait till I get animated.
Right now, cloudy and 50.
Keep it down to a low roar.
Hey, Tom, could you save my ass here a little bit and take this ABA guy? Because I had him hold a long time the other day, and I couldn't get a hold of the car.
First one out.
Thank you.
Is that, or Suzanne, what's that Dan test?
DNA.
Suzanne, we're taking one of those. Are you guys doing that? The DNA?
I got one for Mark for Christmas. He's got to swab his face. And
we're going to do the same thing. Swab your face?
Well, now, whatever.
Did you do the 23andMe? My wife ordered it. I don't know. We're going to find out what we are, though.
Yeah.
Or at least what they tell us we are.
At least what they tell us we are, yeah.
Did you get the ones with the health?
I don't know. I know you can check the website. She did all that, so I don't know. It just came in. We haven't opened it yet. So.
Dan got one off of Groupon, and he felt gypped.
He told me I was Filipino.
Filipino.
There's probably some truth to that.
It's a fortune cookie. It's a fortune cookie. Probably was. Oh, what was this guy?
Well, I've always been told we're Spanish, Italian, and Greek. but I don't know that
That's
for sure.
everything almost. So.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Geez, I know. So now I can find out.
Right. No, I think a really good one would be good to know. But
I like
yours
your
with the
food.
health. We would like you to mate with this.
That would be. They're actually that Black Mirror is a good one.
I wrote it down as a.
You haven't watched Black Mirror? Oh, start from season 1 then.
You know what yours?
Mark,
yeah.
Black Mirror is
The Star Trek one's really good.
I don't tell
You
you.
definitely see it.
I'm a
You definitely
oh no,
see it.
I saw the end. I saw it. I loved it.
So, yeah, I'm like
that was
They trapped him.
yeah,
Just about
and
everybody is.
they
Yeah, oh,
there was
gosh,
a
yeah.
they're in the universe and encountered on the cloud a gamer.
My grandfather's actually.
So they're going to go through like
Yeah.
encounter. That's fun.
But what's wild is they're not real. The last one in that season is my favorite, though.
Yeah.
Why? This is season 4. You saw all season 4 already.
Yeah.
So are they in season 5, Mark?
No.
Yeah, here.
It's called Black Museum.
No, they're not in order. I could go and see it. I mean, right? Because the
Black Museum. is
nothing
so
builds on right, Mark? Because I don't ever see them building on each other. They just.
Black Museum is very close to the Star Trek one we were talking about.
Isn't this a lot to you? Doesn't it remind you of
That was
Twilight
ever.
Zone?
It's so funny you said that about.
Is that-
4
is that-
years
is that
ago,
a-
I rewatched every single Twilight Zone.
Really? You're kidding me. Wow. What's the best one you think?
So the springs are.
Best
How many
one.
buyers do you have closing
Because
per
then
month
that-
on average?
Last
For in its day, that thing was wild.
God, that's so weird. The best one.
we don't have a lot of inventory.
The one that comes to
Like
mind
going
when
as
you
quick
said
as you're
that
listing it out.
is this guy lives like on Mars and a rocket comes and delivers them
Yeah.
food.
That's true. 'Cause if you get over a certain
supplies
point,
like
it's,
once a year.
the rule changes a little
And
bit.
he's got a
Yeah, I
robot
had
there
one actually expected to
that's
sit a
with
little
him.
longer just 'cause of the area.
Yeah.
Or, it's not really a robot, it's a human.
That's not online.
And
Really? I mean, wow.
she leaves.
What would you say the average listing is?
The robot does?
The robot.
Or the
Whatever.
No, the robot. Or the
That's kind of like saying the Seinfeld is the best one, because you start reading them and it says, oh, wow. Like, I just looked at the haircut one. And it was pretty funny. You know, Jerry got the bad haircut he was supposed to be.
I could answer all these questions. Somebody asked me questions.
Sort of like
guy in his,
the Italian dude and stuff, yeah.
I could tell
And he
you
was supposed to go to the auction, and Kramer went to the auction.
Looks like instead of people
It's Kramer.
when I go out in
The next lane goes, can I start the bidding out at $5?
Oh, who was that?
I think Seinfeld was, Jerry got the bad haircut, and he didn't want him on the Bachelor auction.
Yeah.
So they had Kramer.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. They are the choice for you. If you have a garage door problem, call them. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. They'll do free inspections as well. If you mention the Martino Show, they also have complete garage door openers ready to install for. Then this is what's unbelievable, and it's cool. It's just $333, and you get a beautiful new garage door opener that is Wi-Fi compatible, battery backup. 303-565-6409. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. Okay, so I'm going to go to Joseph, who has a problem here, and sorry for the wait, Joseph. And you called once before. You called once before. You're a disabled veteran, and we really want to help you, and we kind of didn't know the answer to this. It's weird because your dog is not truly a service dog. It's more of an emotional support dog. And they break them into categories. And what are the categories? There's service dog, and the other one is what? The service
emotional
dog,
support.
Yeah, and the service dog has to literally
service animal, Tom.
A service animal must literally perform a service, right?
It has to perform a task.
Right. And Joseph says his dog helps him get up off the chair and stuff. This big dog he uses for stability, and I didn't know if that was a stretch or not. He said the other dog is emotional support, but anyway, the landlord is telling him he has to get rid of him, and the guy just wants to keep his dogs. That's the bottom line. So I wanted to get an expert on, and not to try to trick the system, but just to get some unbiased information on what is a service animal or an emotional support animal. And would a dog standing there that you can grab and stand up, I don't know, you could do a cane, but he literally stands next to him and he uses him as a prop to stand up. But Joseph, what else does that big dog do?
Well, so all right. So my husky, he retrieves things. So if I drop things or if they fall in a place that I can't get, he'll retrieve it for me. He can pick up small objects and things like that. And also like if I'm like on the couch or something and I can't get up myself because my leg goes out or something.
What about the little one? What does the little one do?
So I'm 90% service connected from the VA. I'm service connected for my anxiety disorders and things.
Yeah.
And I have triggers. So my Shih Tzu, he senses when I'm gonna like I guess have like a panic attack or something like that, and he'll like get my attention to get me out of the situation or get me away from the situation so that I can avoid that. Or avoid the attack if possible.
All right. Well, thank you for your explanation. When you first moved into this place, did the landlord know you had an animal or had pets?
Yes, they knew, and they knew that I was training them to be.
Then why did they mention it?
Yeah, they told me that they would need the letters and stuff, and I told them that I just moved from Florida, and it's going to take me a little bit of time to get reestablished. And have they put a deadline on getting those letters? Well, they told me that I had to have them by the end of this week to get those letters and stuff. But obviously, with the VA, like it's like getting or pulling teeth to get in somewhere.
Right, you can't get into the VA, and even if you do, we don't know what they're going to do.
And what are these letters? Exactly. What will they say? A doctor saying?
So I want to ask some very basic questions. Okay, so Joseph, I'm going to bring up Jeff Ames, informational specialist with Rocky Mountain ADA Center, Americans with Disabilities Act Center. Hey, Jeff, thanks for being here. And if anyone has issues, RockyMountainADA.org is a great website to get their contact, RockyMountainADA.org. Jeff, in short, I wanted to ask you something in short. What is required, I don't mean of the dog, but what is the paperwork or a letter? Is there a such thing as a certificate or a license or a letter saying your dog is really what it is?
First of all, good morning.
Good morning.
Simply put, let's get a couple of things straight. Service animal is a definition used by the Department of Justice relative to entities that are covered by the Americans with Disabilities Act. The situation we're talking about here is covered by the Fair Housing Act, and there is no definition of a service animal under the Fair Housing Act.
Can I ask a quick question while we're on this topic? And I'm glad you clarified that. The Fair Housing Act, that is what governs this. So are you saying he cannot use his ADA rights under that? The ADA does not apply? They can violate the ADA?
Actually, in most cases, fair housing has a much broader, more liberal interpretation of what animals are allowed.
So it's better for them.
The idea of having to prove that it's a service animal for housing is essentially irrelevant under fair housing. And by the way, I can't profess to be an expert.
I understand. I understand.
The ADA Center is about the ADA. However, I've had some training in this area, and I've got housing issues.
Sure.
And what I would recommend in Colorado is contacting the state's Division of Civil Rights.
Okay, but right now, just from your vast knowledge, because you've been in this area, as you say, we're not going to take you as speaking for fair housing, but could you give us your gut feeling? I mean, what do you do under fair housing to prove a service animal?
Okay, under fair housing, if somebody has a disability, they cannot be discriminated against because of that in access to housing. And any kind of accommodation or modification that is reasonable, that isn't, going to cause a problem for the landlord or whatever, should be considered. And in terms of an animal, fair housing would typically allow what we would call under the ADA a companion animal that wouldn't be covered, or a support animal. I mean, so
it would be covered under fair housing, but not covered under ADA, a companion animal.
Exactly, because people live in their house, and that's something. They got to have a place to live. Now, you could say to somebody, well, you've got a support cat that helps you emotionally, and you're entitled to that in your house because you need to be comfortable and safe in your own home.
Right.
But can you bring that cat into the grocery store with you? No, you can't under
Okay,
the ADA.
okay, I get it now. So, Jeff, another question then. Under ADA, which covers, public places and other areas, under ADA, what is required to prove you have a service animal?
They can only ask you two questions. The proof is essentially an individual asserting that this animal has been trained to perform a task to assist me with my disability, and that is all anybody can ask.
Okay,
about.
so what?
You're not even allowed to ask that if you have a service animal that obviously is a service animal.
What are the two questions?
The two questions, I'm going to read you right from the regulations. A public entity or a place of public accommodation may ask if the animal is required because of a disability and what work or task the animal has been trained to perform.
Required, and then is it required, and then what task, basically? Okay.
And a public entity or a place of public accommodation shall not require documentation proof that the animal has been certified, trained, or licensed as a service animal.
Okay, well, Jeff, I'm running out of time, but I really appreciate your time. You've given us a lot of information. I need to contact someone from Fair Housing, that's for sure. That's the next step. I think that's going to be a lot easier, but we're running late on time. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Simply Floors, Buddy Mitchell. You want to save money and you want floors? You want any kind of floor. Carpeting, vinyl, luxury vinyl tile, hardwoods, laminates, or engineered floors, simplyfloorsinc.com. Buddy is a lone owner of this beautiful company with designers on staff to help you free of charge. And listen to this. You make your own appointments at simplyfloorsinc.com. You can save over the big boys 40 to 50%. No exaggeration. That's because he simply makes less profit on all of this wonderful stuff for your home. So you can go to the showroom at 52nd and Ward, but you can get an in-home appointment as well. You choose simplyfloorsinc.com. That's Buddy Mitchell. Savings is his middle name, Buddy Savings Mitchell. 303-456-4660.
Hi, it's Botus. Yes, it's
Simply wanted something very silly, and
It's pretty amazing. You can literally, I'm reading the Fair Housing now. You can literally, basically have an animal anywhere.
Oh, you want a paper towel? Oh, no, that's fine, absolutely.
Or a companion.
Absolutely. No, I was at the post office, so sorry about
Yeah,
that.
and you know what? I could have told you we had nothing. You should have.
Oh, well, you still have stuff there.
Oh, okay, because the notice said, because I get these notices now that say, here's what's in your box. And it said nothing, but.
Yeah, there was nothing to
But we
stand
didn't
in
get the
line
check,
for.
right?
I don't believe so, no.
Fracking? Well,
But there was no signing, the kind that has to sign.
So, that's what they notified me about, huh?
Yes, that's what it would be. So there was nothing that, I kind of glanced through it, I didn't see anything, but I really need to look through it. I usually just glance through to make sure I don't have a yellow,
So did you see by chance that the check was there?
I have not seen that. No, but I need to really go through it.
That would be Fox.
Fox.
From Fox.
Okay. I'll look. I'll go down and look before I come up with your paper towel.
Okay.
So.
It is amazing. You can
Friday,
pretty much have a pet anywhere.
Meets with the
Are
president.
you looking at Fair Housing?
Yeah, you just saying.
So no more no pets. No more no pets.
What does that mean? That just means it gets like a job.
Does it say they can? Do they have to? Do they require documentation?
No.
Okay, he doesn't.
They love
Why did that guy hang up?
And the president was my best friend's best friend.
Hey.
Okay.
And the vice president loves it. Okay. So, and he's meeting with him on Tuesday.
I need him. I'm going to tell him. He doesn't even.
It's pretty.
But they're gonna, if it's not with them, they're gonna help him find something that he has. Are you talking about the Bacchus and Shaker?
No, the disability guy. I want him on.
Oh, I thought you were all done with him.
No, I said,
Did you like
He's in New York,
But then
200
Mark
Water
found
Street.
something. So What is the number? What is the Fair Housing Act? Do you have a number?
Like a college. She goes every Tuesday night.
No, this is more of a general
study. She gets like a
Okay, I'll find it. Thanks. So you got me some good information.
And then I take
That's what I
on
want.
Tuesday night.
Fair
Just hang
housing.
out, just do guys stuff.
That's so good.
This guy helped me because I wondered about Fair Housing Act, Mark, and this is literally, you can see where they can't tell a private owner what to do, where the ADA can.
Join a small group or something. How was your drive down? Oh, okay. Was it okay?
It's really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't actually very as trafficy as it normally is.
Good.
How much time do you allow yourself when you leave?
I leave at 8.
And you give yourself 2 hours with you.
I do, just in case.
That's scary. How was your Christmas?
Good. How about yours?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Probably an hour and a half. Yeah, but I don't drive the back way like
It was
my
very good. I got sick the day after, so a
Oh,
lot of
it's funny. So our kids all went back to school on Monday, and 2 of them are home today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. School's the best thing for getting everybody sick. I know. It's not good.
Oh,
So
no, it does.
finally
You're okay, listen.
on the other side.
Demonstrating your pet is an assistance animal.
So, all right, Tom, I will be
Once
back.
again, it's ambiguous. You should provide your landlord with a letter from your doctor or therapist stating you have a disability and how a pet is needed to cope.
That's supposed to, you're gonna try to train him if he has an anxiety attack or something that's coming on.
Now that's can't even train our.
But it doesn't say you, it says you should.
True story.
Tell him, forget it.
Forget it.
Those are dumb dogs.
The second one we've had, so good.
That's really what he needs to do is call HUD or fair housing.
I got the code.
Being accused of a crime can ruin your life. Get help with highly respected, skilled trial attorney Joe Lazzara. He's offering a free initial consultation and up to $500.
Yeah, here's an example. A dog who alleviates a person's depression or anxiety. A cat who reduces a person's stress.
That's 100%.
A bird that alerts.
He's not following directions.
They're hard of hearing companion when someone comes to the door. That's what I want, a tenant that's got a loud bird. So loud that a deaf person has to, oh my God. Quack! Oh, yeah, you've heard birds are so loud. Our neighbors who are, you know, basically, shit. In the summer, they'll put this fucking cockatiel and it sounds like a fucking monkey in a cage screaming for its life.
His personality, I don't know.
It would sound like man if I threw him into an 8 cage naked. What?
That's hilarious.
They might have 2 of them.
That's a very bad analogy.
It's a terrible analogy, but it's a great story.
Great visual.
Yeah, great visual.
Dan getting. You sold my true story, though. Just like you sold Suzanne's.
We're up. Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Listen, I have some ideas because this guy gave us a lot of great information. He gave us a lot of great information regarding fair housing, which is much more liberal. Mark looked it up. So, Joseph, we have some ideas, okay?
Yes, sir.
What I want you to do is go online and but just if you can't write this down, I hear you're driving. You want to talk about federal code, okay? Federal code 42 USC.
Her name is Susan, right? Or
who are you talking about?
Me, I don't know. I'm typing everything
okay,
to
listen,
him as you say it.
We're going to do United States Code 42 USC, which is U.S. Code 42 USC, and it's 3601-3619. That is the Fair Housing Act. What you're going to do is you're going to write a letter to your landlord, and you're going to say something like this. Listen carefully. I'm not giving you legal advice. This is what you do as a person. This is what I would do. Dear landlord, under the federal law, and then I would put, comma, 42 USC 3601 to 3619, the Fair Housing Act, comma, I am not required to show documentation to you as evidence of a service dog or companion animal, service animal or companion animal. You word it any way you want. You're not required. The next thing, period. The next thing you're going to say is, as a courtesy, I will attempt to have my doctor write a note.
However, as to your inquiry, these dogs are needed. Here's why. My big dog fetches things and helps me with stability. My little dog helps me with attacks and anxiety.
Just
attacks.
Helps me with depression or
with
anxiety.
depression or anxiety. That's it. And say, under federal law, I do not have to prove this to you. Okay, that's it. And then that's it. Say, I would like to keep this amicable.
And then, when's your lease up?
But I would, listen, I would like to keep this amicable. But what you say is, when is it up? The lease?
When's
your lease up?
Next year, January.
Okay, well, you
now
start
listen,
finding another
Joseph,
place.
At the end, you say, I would like to keep this amicable, but if necessary, we'll go to federal court to enforce my rights. That's what you say. Now, Suzanne is going to, summarize that and send it to you. So therefore, I want you to do that and not worry about it. And then you call us back and let us know. And thank you for your service to our country. George, you have a real estate question. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, hi, it's George.
Hi.
I was just reading an article about the share of homes valued below $1 million has decreased at a very high rate. In 2002, the homes that were valued at $1 million or less is 98.9%, as most of homes were. Now it's 95.7%, so it's a substantial decrease. I mean, people think it's only 3%. That's a lot of homes.
Now hold on. Actually, I think what you're saying is the amount of expensive homes increased.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's the same thing. It's just looking at it from half full, half.
It's just. I just found it easier to comprehend that the $1 million plus homes have increased.
And in fact, the fastest growing segment is $5 million homes.
What?
Valued at $5 million and larger. And
holy crap!
Whoa! That cannot be the fastest segment. The KB community down the road.
No, Mark. He's saying the fastest segment of houses above $1 million.
Oh, got it.
Are in the $5 million.
Perfect.
Yeah. So anyway, Bill.
Right. And that has to do with people's income in the high income brackets have grown tremendously, huge percent, over 300%. People who
that's very good news. That they're
more.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. So the issue is, what does that look like in this market in Denver metro area?
Okay. Good question.
How has that impacted the low? We talk a lot about affordable housing here.
Good.
Not just for people making very, very little money,
George,
but middle class.
We get it. Yeah, we get it. You're right. Okay. What does it look like for them? And so I want to start with Ideal Home Loans. Brent Ivinson. Okay, you're the owner. Your loans, what's the sweet spot for your loan? What do you mostly get in loans?
I would say that we're dealing with kind of that $300,000 and $400,000 range typically.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
How much do you go above $1 million? Not for loans, but you see houses being purchased above $1 million.
We will see. I'll look at it on the refinance side and the purchase side. We'll see a handful of them a month.
Okay.
That we do. So not a bunch.
What I'm asking you is it substantially more than it was 10 years ago?
I wouldn't say substantially more. I think just by prices driving up and home prices going up, you see it more. Look, there were very few homes in Highlands Ranch that were $1 million or more 10 years ago, and now you have a pretty sizable amount due to communities like the Backcountry and some of the other areas that are out there.
Okay, so Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. I want to ask you, in homes, what do you see as far as the $1 million plus?
I've never seen that stat, Tom, to be honest. And
not stats.
Right.
What have you seen?
I haven't seen a whole lot in the $1 million plus. Typically, what I see more is in the $400,000 to $500,000
because of your
range.
customer.
Right.
Exactly. Now, not again. I don't care about stats, but in that $1 million plus, is it slower? Is it way slower? Is it the same? What is it?
I think it's actually slower in terms of moving the property.
Just because of the money and the fewer buyers.
And fewer buyers available.
Stephanie, you agree? Like in Colorado Springs, $1 million plus, very rare?
I've actually got the MLS up. So currently we've got 103 well,
what does that
active.
mean? What does that mean?
Currently active, over $1 million price
I understand
point.
that, but what does that mean as the market? 100 active would be
less than 10%.
Well, okay, that's what I wanted. Great, less than 10%. Is that something you see rarely then?
Yeah, that is. I see more in that 300, 500,000 price point.
What about the market expansion or contraction? Is it slower? How to sell these homes? Do they go as quickly as other homes?
No, they don't. But again, you don't have as many buyers that can qualify at that high of a price point, so you've got a much smaller buyer pool.
But George, I think George's point is made, and it is. It's something we see way more than we used to. I mean, what I mean is, just as a person looking through the ads, there are so many houses over $1 million, 1.1, 1.2, so many of them. 303-713-8255. Century RV has expanded to Lakewood. That means you can shop here instead of driving up to Longmont. Although, hey, it's nothing wrong with driving up to the Longmont area. You know, I-25 north to 119 turnoff. That's where you'll find them on that frontage road. But now you can go to Lakewood, just north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's Fine Furniture. Here's the great thing about that, about Century RV. Century RV has the largest selection of used RVs in the entire state. You can find them at CenturyRV.com. And remember, they're open weekdays and Saturday till 8. And you can find Century RV out on 6th Avenue, just north, and it's between Kipling and Sims, okay, next to that Woodley's. Here's a phone number if you want it, 303-453-1111. And again, Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
No stalls or accidents being reported. Yeah, I heard something like that.
Yeah, it's very recent. Yeah, it's very recent that I heard that there's a private bus.
Down I-70, approaching Brighton Boulevard, stock show traffic there. Those $1 million and above those are a totally different beast because
you see a lot of them.
There's just not.
You see a lot of them sit.
That's what I mean.
You even look at there's.
I'm pulling expireds every day, Tom, and they've been sitting there for 6-8 months a year. And they're just not moving.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff sitting around in the backcountry. I say a bunch, 3 or 4 houses that are priced at $2 million and above. They haven't included it all.
Is it pretty or is it over?
I think it's over. There's not a lot. Here's the deal. We looked around back there. There's no sidewalks in the whole neighborhood. I got 3 kids. Like, can't have my kids playing in the street. That's not going to work. And they've got their own pool, which is nice. It's not terrible. I mean, it's a gated community. It's nice. I think the one that's better, the one that's right across the street from the backcountry, which is the Highwoods. I think that's probably a better neighborhood. More traditional. It's more like the Preserve is, Tom. It's more like,
And what is backcountry?
Backcountry is more kind of an adaptation of Castle Pines. Which is kind of, we don't really have sidewalks.
Those are getting tired.
Well, you know what's funny? A guy who runs the appraisal management company for us says Castle Pines is now where value goes to die. He says unless it's something new, he says there is more inventory there than anywhere else. Yep.
You know why?
Because none of it's been updated or remodeled.
It's all old rustic bullshit.
Where? Castle Pines.
There's some nice shit in Castle Pines. Yeah, but
there is, but a lot of it hasn't been redone. A lot of it hasn't been updated. A lot of it's older. I got a buddy of mine whose dad was a builder, and he built down off of the first hole on the international course. Patio home he bought 11 years ago. It's free. It's like 3,200 feet. Paid $1 million for it. It's worth like $1.1 million now. Hasn't really gone up at all. And he said I just had to plow 75 grand. Redo it all. So you could argue there's where you get some value because you can get a lot of house for the money, but then you're going to have to pump a bunch of money into it.
Today is the day you break the stranglehold. You can have that price point.
Yeah. Right. No, not at all. And that's where I think too that you got we tell our clients all the time, you make your money when you buy. That's the deal. You got to buy it. You got to know that hey, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to go on. The other thing to keep in mind is every time you go up another $100,000 in price, that's another almost $500 in payment. You're going to need to make another $1,000 in income to debt ratio out. So that's what ends up happening when you start to get into that $1 million, $1 million, you start swapping out buyers and crazy. People don't want, the buyers move them in, it's just so rapid. So,
insurance covers the cost. Call today for a free no obligation consultation. The Raleigh House, 70893-5559. 70893-5559.
Because I think what a lot of people do is, hey, I'm not going to spend this much money. I want to design it all. I want to put it all together.
I just had one that I did a listing appointment in that they were currently marketed over $1 million. I couldn't call them out over 800, and I told them, I said, guys, we're going to waste our time. I was very honest with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Ultimately, I didn't get the listing,
right.
of course.
Well, because
it was only 2 years old, and they spent well over that. But they have been currently active with another agent over $1 million, and not even showings.
What we're seeing a ton of is that they'll get something under construct or under contract.
Yeah.
That's way out of whack from what it'll appraise for, and then
that's what
no one's had the discussion of what are we going to do when the appraisal's 30 grand short. No one's had that conversation, and all of a sudden, then they want to run their appraiser up the flagpole, and then it's like, okay, well, we got to figure this out because the borrower doesn't have the money.
Nor is the appraiser going to change his mind.
Right, and yeah, the appraiser, because that data's all getting aggregated with Fannie and Freddie now. So but I'm just amazed at how many people are like,
anything goes appraisal.
What do you want?
You've
got to work for an appraiser for like years before it's appraisal
In Colorado.
Yeah.
At the time of contract.
Sure. Hey, do they have the funds to bridge?
Yeah, exactly. If you're coming in over list, tell me.
Right.
There's still a lot of it's arbitrary.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. Call them. Get $1,000 off hearing aids if you decide to buy. All you have to do is call now, and you'll be in line. That's right. Just call. And you get a hearing evaluation eventually. They'll make you an appointment. It doesn't have to be today. And then you're in line. As long as you get on the list now, you'll be in line for the $1,000 off. But here's the real thing. The real important thing about this, they're special hearing aids. They are now smartphone compatible. So with an app, you can control every aspect of them. Think about that. You can adjust them to perfection, and they can sample sounds and adjust themselves, or you can take phone calls with them. Great idea. So get on the list. 303-534-0163. I don't know how long this will last, this offer, but that's a huge discount on these most advanced hearing aids. 303-534-0163, helpforringing.com. You know, it's all about saving money and helping people here. Connie, you have a cell phone. Speaking of cell phones, you need a new cell phone, right? And I'm so sorry you waited so long. And let me ask you a few things about how do you use a cell phone? Do you use it for recreation or just necessity?
No, I play games from time to time. I do browsing and texting and.
You love your phone, right? And do you use it for ever watching TV?
No.
Never. You never watch a movie on your phone?
No.
Especially when I'm driving, I like watching movies.
Do you care if Chinese kids died while building your phone?
Oh, stop, Mark. That's all a big myth right now. That doesn't happen anymore. Just stop it. Connie, if we're going to look at just the phone and not the footprint or the socioeconomic things, let's just look at phones. What do you have as a computer?
Laptop.
What kind? Like, no, what I mean is this. What operating system? What operating system? Windows?
Windows 10.
Okay. Do you like Windows 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever seen an Apple? An iPad or an Apple laptop or anything?
No.
Okay. And what about price range? What price range do you want?
For the phone, I'd like to have it as cheap as possible, of course.
What carrier are you with right now?
Under 500.
What carrier?
CenturyLink.
You're with CenturyLink. Okay. That does not limit you. Have you ever thought about switching? Wait, did you just say CenturyLink? Not Verizon, CenturyLink. What?
Yes, because I have...
it's a bundle.
Okay. Okay.
I have a Roku TV that comes with that.
Yeah, Roku TV.
It's free TV without...
Okay, good. Okay, fine. You're satisfied. That's all that counts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you paying for your service?
$45 a month.
Wow. Good. Now, Connie, what about phones? Have they offered any, or have you been to CenturyLink, or where do you buy phones when you're on CenturyLink?
I have no idea. I've had this iPhone for 3 years, and it looks like the battery's
okay, you already told me something. You already have an iPhone, okay? Now, we're going to be running out of time. I promise you I'll take you first. Right next, I have some great ideas for you. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. You stick around, and I promise we'll have fun and help a lot of people.
Paper in it, this little Chinese kid was asking about and he just threw it away. And Tom just threw it in the trash like it was nobody. Good one.
How's Stephanie doing? Is everybody doing good? Yeah, that's good.
In just 3 days. That cell phone's under 500.
Someone offered you a written. You know that guy that called up said he had a half-acre house guarantee on both their quarterly.
She's rude because the only iPhones now are 800 or 1,000.
I'd like to know what area. You said outside of Denver. What was Lakewood?
Oh, it's just her.
Right.
I was going to say, especially down in Lakewood, too. You go south like that, the values,
So Michael and I, when we have
south of I-70.
I would have thought more than $5,000.
Yeah.
Or 500.
500, yeah.
What is that guy that said they had that half-acre horse property?
Oh, my buddy Dan just sold his down there.
Horse property doesn't sell that much. Yeah, but can't you subdivide it or split it up and make it a second lot?
That's how I knew it was late.
No. Very seldom.
Really?
Most of the
100 back early 90s, maybe mid 90s. 100, half acre, just like this guy's. Half acre, the house is so old though, I think it's a scraper. Horse property, but he sold it for a little under 400.
That's a quadruple, but it's a scraper house.
Yeah, the house, in my opinion, is worthless.
Actually, it was reported as a...
Last time I was in it, it was. He might have put money in it, but I don't think so.
The horse living in it?
The horse was right inside.
Announced last year the program
had a super old detached garage, so like if it snowed,
you know, stores nationwide, nearly 100 locations.
Had a gate in the front, you had to open when you get your car in because it was right off a major road. You should see the place you bought though. Oh,
are they changing the law that condos can't sue, apartments, if they make them in a condo?
The construction defect law? I don't know what's going on with that. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That would put a lot on the market.
Well, that's what they're going to have. Condos. You want to really get this market going back to normal, you got to get some first-time home buyer product out there. And a condo was what used to do it, but with this defect law, the developers are like, the hell with it, I'm not doing it, I'm not building it. I'm not going to be responsible if one unit's got a problem with this, that I'm going to be responsible for every unit in the whole thing.
No, I totally agree on that. They wrote that up as a,
I'm selling one right now where that happened. There was a lawsuit. They used to be apartments that converted them into condos, and there was a big lawsuit over it, and finally got handled or whatnot, but that was just a big headache, so.
We've had the ones where the previous owner took the money and didn't fix it.
Oh, wow.
You know, like, for the pipe, they put it in the pocket, and they sold it without saying that, you know, this happened.
That's crazy.
It was that pipe, that plastic pipe, that was bad, that was
broken. Oh, yeah, right.
Life insurance can cost you big time.
But,
the older you get, the more you'll have to pay. And a sudden unexpected illness can cause your rates to skyrocket, or even make you uninsured.
We moved it quick. I mean, we had like 10 offers.
Call Select Quote now.
Sold it for way over.
No obligation. In minutes.
Stephanie, where are you in
San Diego? Up to 10 rated life insurance companies. Richard, 40 years old, his meds controls cholesterol. Still,
what is the commercial
the shrimp thing that's wrapped in bacon with the cheese? Oh my gosh.
Under a
cheese and bacon, you can eat it
right around the shrimp.
Oh, Mark, we found a place up in Divide, so next time you're out.
And where?
Divide, so about 15 minutes from the house. But they do incredible like burgers and wings. It was kind of like a small sports bar.
Divide?
But the food
Where the hell is Divide?
just west on
time.
About 15 minutes.
From your house.
Yeah.
Once you're in town, it's about 15.
No, we stayed in town.
Oh,
Yeah, we hung around. It was good. That was
Probably a
nice.
little less than that.
No, with the girls.
Yeah, because it's right by Aaron's practice.
We travel for
He
that.
practices
You know,
right
we
there
gotta go
in
to
the drive.
California, we gotta go to Florida, we gotta go to Ohio.
I'm driving. Why
businesses that
I
think it's because they're all more nice.
You can post a job in minutes and manage your
Oh, really?
Easy to use.
Boy, I just read
job on the world's #1 job site.
Tax benefit from one spouse to
There may
another.
be a time in your life where you need Joe De Lazara.
You know, I
talk about all my experts. Joe Lazara is one of them, and he's one of I always say. I hope you don't need it. Joe Lazara is an offense attorney, criminal offense attorney. That means if you did stupid and did something, you need to lie. You're not stupid. You're just in the wrong place, and you're falsely accused. But sometimes there's a DUI involved.
So I just got rid of my 7 series
to get through the system, and you can't do it without legal.
I lease them. I want them. So when I come out of
Wow,
I
that's
had
really
3 years old. I had 32,000 miles. I think it was a Acura. Traded it into the shop. So under the new bill, they sold the thing 4 days later for $7 more than they are. You know who you should text? Text Skip. Send Skip Weller a text to see if he wants to buy it.
What about an email?
Listen to this.
What about an email?
Yeah, email. Email. Say, Brett told me to send you this.
I didn't realize that.
He got all wound up with me that I didn't call him and tell him I was getting rid of my BMW.
New tax bill, ready? Alimony. If you're paying alimony, you can't write. I'm just saying, normal income.
What's the address?
S. Weller at Weller Media
Charles
Services.
has never been taxed.
I'm sure
You're,
why wouldn't they make it both to where it's not taxable for the guy giving it, and it's not, you can't write off for the guy or the girl taking it?
Weller Media Services.
You're saying, no, so now what we get there, like these big alloys,
Yeah.
she doesn't pay taxes.
That's what I'm saying. Why? Why didn't they keep that the same? Why did they switch it?
Somebody,
Consumer advocate Tom Martino for Larson Tax Relief. I've been
Woman.
fighting consumers more than 30 years in all areas of business. Except when it comes to the IRS. Years since you filed, these guys are they're understand your situation.
But even in a one-time lump sum,
Relief from your tax.
you're paying money on your gifting. Well, you know what? You did pay money on your gifting.
You won't have to worry about your wages or losing your house. Larson will get between you and the IRS. They'll save you thousands and thousands of dollars. I trust Ron and Jack Larson and their team of experts, and you can too. 844 Larson Tax. Check them out at LarsonTaxRelief.com. That's 844 Larson Tax. 844 LARSON Tax. Larson Tax Relief is the only tax relief and audit organization I endorse on my referral list at referralist.com.
Hi, it's Fotis, and
Can you cook, Mark? You could cook?
$1,000 happens.
I am great outdoors on the barbecue and the smoker, and I can fry pretty good. I can fry like, I can fry cutlet. I love veal cutlet. In fact, I just started cooking steaks inside. I copied Chef Ramsay's. Incredible. I might not grill a steak for a long time.
Seriously?
Oh my God.
Really? How do you cook them?
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being around. Help me get
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. The only show of its kind anywhere in the universe, and the longest running show where we recover money for people, help people, give people suggestions. Sometimes we can't help. Sometimes we go after the bad guys, the rotten guys. This hour brought to you by Plumline. For all your plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. And this was just in literally from Plumline. I need to tell you about it because they have a special. Things are slow because weather is not cold and it's not hot. So this special you need to take advantage of. This is what these companies do when things get slow. And Plumline does a great job. You can always rely on honest people. And what they do, and skilled people, $19.95 right now will get you a full service inspection of your furnace and adjustments. They will take care of your furnace. That's $19.95. And of course, they hope if you need them, you'll see that sticker and use them in the future. But you can take advantage of this very low price. They will do it all for you for $19.95. A 22-point inspection and a no breakdown guarantee. Fuses, motor, connections, contacts, capacitors. If you have filters, they'll install them. They'll inspect all the ductwork, the thermostats, check all the wiring, identify all your airflow stuff. They'll give you a full written report. No obligation other than $19.95. Give them a call. Plumline, it's 303-586-1086. 303-586-1086. 586-1086, plumlineservices.com. Let's keep going. Okay, now, I was talking to Connie. She's looking for a cell phone. Cell phones. She had an iPhone. It's getting old. She wants to get a new one. She needs recommendations. And she has CenturyLink as a carrier. So I need to ask a very simple question. Connie, do you like the iPhone?
First of all, I made a mistake. I have Mobile T based on your recommendation.
T-Mobile. T-Mobile's a good carrier. There's nothing wrong with T-Mobile. Okay.
Right.
So... but you still are paying a great price. Everything else, free TV, all of that was true that you told me?
Yep.
Okay. So, do you like the iPhone?
Yeah.
Well, then go drop, what, $7, $8, or $1,000 on a new one?
Are they offering you any offers for an iPhone?
Well, I haven't talked to them lately, but, you know, they've been talking about slowing the speed down for various reasons, and, I wouldn't mind trying a Samsung instead.
Now, the speed has nothing to do with
no, Apple,
whether it's Apple or Droid.
Big time. Apple started slowing down their older phones. They took a lot of criticism while you were on vacation.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean slowing down their older phones?
When they release new models.
Okay, what do they do?
And they send updates. They send those updates to the old phones. The old phones, in part of that update, would literally use less processor power, and they would literally slow them down.
They did that just on purpose to get people... Why did they do it?
Let me finish. Well, a lot of people think they did it for exactly what you were alluding to, but Apple is saying, and I don't know where I stand on this, the reason they did it is their batteries suck so bad. If some of these new updates would require too much battery power, and the phone would just shut off if they didn't do it. So, one, you got small Chinese kids committing suicide building these in China. And I'm not kidding. Everybody laughs when I say that. That's true. That's a real deal. And then, two, they come out and start slowing these things down. In my opinion, they do it to sell new ones. But people say, or Apple says, they do it because these new updates on the older phones will cause the phone basically to reboot all on its own. Either way, it sucks they do it.
Well... Mark, honest to God, with that...
And now their price point is $700, $800, and $1,000.
Okay, but let's talk about the phone. Not that. Really talk about the phone. You don't really know both operating systems. I do. I've had both the Droid and both the Apple, and they're both fine. You will not make a mistake doing either. What you have to pick are features and what else your life is. My life is all Apple, iPads. I have a laptop, a PowerBook. And it was easy for me to integrate everything. I used to not want Apple because they didn't play well with Google. That has been taken care of. I integrate fine with my Google. But I have a whole different reason for my phone than you might have for yours. I also like the giant screen on the 8 Plus, and I like watching movies and TV, especially when driving. I
like my phone being waterproof. I like the screen I have.
So you're hearing features, okay? When it comes to operating system, you're really not going to make a mistake. But as far as manufacturers... You know, I really am not high on Apple's manufacturing anymore. They are really cutting corners and getting cheaper. I don't mean cheaper price-wise. I mean they're probably making more profit and raising prices. I do love Samsung as a company. They do fine quality phones. So I would choose either a Samsung or an iPhone if you want recommendations. And then you simply pick the features and price point that you want.
I think Samsung is at the top of my list.
Yep.
And by the way, thank you for your service.
Well, good, Connie. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, Dan's got a mechanics lien question. Go ahead, Dan. What's happening?
Good morning, sir.
Hey.
I got a question on a mechanics lien, so a good question for you.
Sure.
So we refinanced last September, And come to find out, when they did a title search, we had a mechanics lien from a contractor from 2016 that did some work. We then obviously showed that we paid off this contractor in full, so the title, so we were able to do the refi. My question is, the company is no longer in business. That contractor has been out of business for 2 years. How are we getting this mechanics lien removed?
Okay. Brent, you've done enough refi.
No, that's a good question. That's not
Wait,
one that
you're asking...
How does he get the mechanics lien removed? Because the person who filed the mechanics lien or the company no longer is in existence. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay. But if it's been on there long enough, you can easily bond around it. How much is it for?
We were able to refinance our loan. The title company was able to get that because we just proved.
Oh, good. Then why do you care about it being released?
Well, because it's showing up. So if you sell your house, you try to sell it, the next person.
Well, then you sue you do a quiet title action, it's called. You sue the company, and then you get a default judgment when they don't show up.
Yeah, well, the company doesn't exist.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
You do a lawsuit on purpose because they don't exist. You serve the registered agent, whoever it was, and they will not show up. Therefore, you will get a default judgment.
Okay.
And that's the only way I can think of. I'm not saying it's the best. It's the only thing I can think of if they don't exist. You know, we ought to ask a title company. We ought to ask a title company. Who would do you? Yeah.
What he could do, though, is pull an O&E and find out who's at least handling it, who the attorney is handling the mechanics lien. Many times we've been able to get a hold of them and get that dealt with, and then just go down to the court and get that removed.
They did it themselves, the company.
And there was not an attorney that was handling it? Okay.
No, there wasn't. No, we got the paperwork.
But Dan, was an O&E actually pulled, though?
Well, actually, we saw the actual lien from the county of Denver.
Okay. But if you pull an O&E, it may also show you some other options, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know it was just an individual that listed it. I mean, that just did it. Well, the owner of the company, so.
Well, what do you think, guys? What do you think?
I would pull an O&E, Tom.
And then what, though?
And then just at least look where the source is.
Right,
and just
well,
see
he already knows. He already knows the source, right?
Right. But then just take it from there. Just negotiate it from there if you can. And
but the source isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I'm getting at.
No, I understand. But there's been times where we've had similar situations where it turns out there's somebody actually handling it, though. There's an attorney, somebody that you could track down by pulling the O&E. I'm not saying that would be the case here, but it's definitely worth a try to pull an O&E.
Well, okay, you know what? There's nothing wrong with doing that first before a lawsuit, that's for sure.
Right, yeah. We didn't know if we had to get an attorney involved just to write a letter or something to the county so they could release it.
No, they won't. They won't just release it because an attorney writes a letter. I mean, if that was the case, we would always get them released. The county won't make a decision. They won't say, okay, this place doesn't exist anymore. Therefore, how do they know it doesn't exist? They'd have to do the research. And then how do they know someone didn't buy the assets or own something? It's way more complicated than you think. Just because you say, hey, it's not in business, they're not going to make a decision. There's not one county worker in the world that would make that decision. No one will make a decision except a judge in court or the direct party, and as Frank said, by some magical means, even though they're out of business, you may find a contact. Right? Is that what you're saying?
I'd pull an O&E. I mean, we've done it before.
But Frank, if they're out of business, I keep asking,
what I'm saying though, they may be out of business, but they might have sold the lien off to somebody else. Somebody else is handling it.
Someone bought the debt.
What he's saying is, at least you can talk to someone. I get that. That's very logical. It really is. So an O&E first, then, if you can't, do a quiet title action with a real estate attorney, and it's going to cost you, but it'll get done. But I never did ask, how much is the lien? By the way, how much is the lien?
$3,000, what they were claiming, but we proved that we paid it all off. So.
Well, what do you mean you proved?
Well, we had the actual receipts that we actually paid the company the whole amount for the job done.
Okay. Thank you. Wow, I wish I could help you more. 303-713-8255. We got we have our real estate show today. If you need help, now We're not going to confine ourselves to real estate, but our professionals are here, both real estate and lending. So, Mandy, we'll come right to you. Evelyn, and we have a couple lines open, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. A topic I often talk about. I don't like talking about it. It's a destroyer of families, relationships, careers. I'm talking about addiction. The great thing about talking about it here now is that I have talked in the Raleigh House. I've talked them into putting up a community line. Now, when I say talked in, they wanted to do it too. But instead of just a line to call to get rehabilitation or treatment for addiction, I said people need information first. They need just information. How much does it cost? How long does it take? Does insurance cover it? Well, how do I know someone has an addiction? What do I say to them? What's the first thing I say? Can they talk to you? What kind of modalities are involved? What kind of medical treatment? What kind of psychological treatment? What about other treatments? What about, I mean, there are like millions of questions, okay? So this is the great part. Before you do anything, you're going to need that information. So call them, and they'll answer anything. A caring, loving staff. They're not going to try to hustle you into signing up. It's not a sales thing. It is an informational line only. Now, they'll be happy to tell you about their premier addiction recovery program with their evidence-based treatments. They love to tell you about it, but that's not the purpose of the call. If you choose to go to the Raleigh House, fine. Wonderful people. But just call for information because addiction will never get better on its own. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
The Highway Drive in pretty good shape across.
They sold off, and the company went out of business, and somebody else sold to somebody else. We got to the root of it, found the attorney, got them to write a thing saying, hey, it's been paid in full, took it down to the court or whatever, and they took the lien off the, but I mean, it doesn't happen like that all the time, but I'm just saying the extra effort sometimes is, check O&E.
I haven't. No,
I had one guy one time, he had like 4 judgments against him, and he all this stuff, and we negotiated them all down. And some of them actually just, because some of them will say, well, we'll let you close, but then we want to retain our right to pursue for the difference on a payment plan later. But to release, we'll at least release for this much. And then sometimes they'll say, you know what, we'll release the whole thing. And it's just your timing, and I calculate it because you know what, it's like a tugboat. You're not going to convince them in one try. A little bit at a time. And they'll weaken their positions. I've had the hardest people tell me, no way, never. And little by little, just like a tugboat, a little bit at a time. You know, It's like leading a horse around the paddock, you know. If you can't get him to do what you want, just take him again, little by little, you know.
I sent Tom Geisen a homestead title of tax. I said, hey, what do you do when you run into this? What's the game?
Thursday, January 18th, or brunch on Saturday, January 20th.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think I'm going to split, man. I got a horrible headache.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
I never get
stop
foreclosure.
1
minute for one.
I just left a minute ago and took some aspirin, man. I know it's because I have eaten, but the last 4 times I've done this, I never got a headache.
I'm broken shoe. Take like 5 minutes later, she said, I called her and she says, we made a mistake. It actually does stop one day for sale. This is after I tell you, I'm just trying to get this thing stopped.
I got a protein bar, Mark.
No, I'm telling you, man, I do so much work.
I thought about it.
Grace of God, buddy. That was
crazy. I'm going to have to work out. Like, there's no way I could have gone from here to here.
I'll take the low sperm count. How many men will say that?
We're expected to do our best to work hard, but there's things out of our control.
Happy birthday. Is today actually your birthday? Coming up or the last one?
I have to remember that.
27?
We'll go with that.
Okay. I tell everybody 29 all the time. I tell
We'll go with that.
Yeah, good to see you too. See you later.
I'll be 36
Take care, man.
on Saturday.
Take care. See you guys.
Get better.
Tom, I got to cut out at 12:30, so at the next break I got to run.
At 5 after the hour, okay? It's right for the economy.
You're still a baby, Steph. You are still young.
Michael Brown.
How old are you?
I'll be 36 Saturday.
Tom Steyer, the Democratic hedge fund manager turned activist, is going to get
You know, when I was a little kid, I used to think like 30 was old.
So I'll be 43 in May. I remember when my parents turned 40, like, they are old as dirt. Unbelievable.
Oh, that is so funny.
They didn't like to hear that.
No. They didn't like to hear that at all. They were not thrilled.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK,
713-855. The only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. Let's go to the phones and help people. Let's help. Mandy? Go ahead, Mandy. Sorry for the wait. Again, Mandy, what's going on?
Hey, first of all, I want to say my boyfriend David loves your show. He listens to you every.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So here's my situation. I'm going to buy a house.
Yeah.
His credit is no good.
And you're married or boyfriend, did you say? Boyfriend?
Yeah, boyfriend.
Okay, so his credit's no good.
Right. So in order to get a good rate on, I don't have a down payment for a house.
You need his finances to qualify, but you don't want his credit.
Right. And I want to see if I can get a loan through him to get the down payment.
Is that now? Will your credit qualify?
My credit will qualify.
Okay.
I don't know if his will.
Okay. Well, listen.
My question is, if I co-sign on the loan for the down payment, will that show up against my credit?
No, not if it's a private loan, but it will be asked if any of the down payment is borrowed, and if you lie, and, they may never find out, but I'm telling you, it's not a good idea. Brent, let's just talk about that first. So many people do it, and I'll tell you why they do it, and I'll tell you the way around it. But when they lie about that, how serious is it?
Well, it's considered loan fraud, so it can get real serious really fast.
Especially if you ever had a default.
Yes, for sure. And that's where they're likely going to uncover that and start digging it. Let me ask you this. Do you guys have a joint checking account, you and your boyfriend?
No.
Okay. Because oftentimes if you got a joint account that's technically yours as well, we can pull it out of there and there's no problem and leave him off of there.
So all they'd have to do is have a joint checking.
If you've got a joint checking account and we can prove that the funds are seasoned, meaning that they've been in there for greater than 60 days, I'd go 90 just to play it safe, then yes, you could pull the money out of that joint account.
What a great idea. What a great idea. Now, the other thing you could do is a gift. People just overlook gifts, and I'll tell you why. They have the stupid notion that they have to pay taxes, or that it has to be $14,000 or under. It is not true, not true, not true. You can gift any amount you want to anyone you want, anytime you want, with no tax, unless you go over $5.5 million. So, I don't think that'll be a problem. If he gave you a gift, literally gave you a gift. Now, you might say, I'm going to pay you back, or he's going to have interest in the house. Between you, that's fine. But you don't have to do a formal loan. Do you think your boyfriend would be up for that?
Yeah, I think he would.
Then you can do a gift. Now, they may have you do a gift letter. If they ask you how you got your down payment, and you say a gift, they may ask for a letter. Now, Brent, do they look kind of sideways at that?
Well, it depends on what type of loan you're doing. FHA, technically, the gift has to be from a family member.
Oh, it does?
So, yes. So that you run into some stipulations with FHA. The other question I had is a percentage, the amount that he has available to put down, how much would it be as a percentage of what you're looking at buying?
How much are you putting down? 5, 10, 15?
Well, they want 8, but they said they can get me help to get the down payment, but then I'm going to pay 5% on a house loan.
Not necessarily, but yeah, there are grant programs available, down payment assistance programs available. Are you saying 8,000 or 8% of the purchase price? 8,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in what price point?
Yeah,
are you
we want to know
it?
What percentage is that 8,000.
Well, he said I could be approved for 160 because
okay. Oh, I get it. Okay. So we're trying to figure out what percentage is that.
Yeah. Okay.
5%.
Yeah. So 5%. Okay.
He said he could get me a higher loan for a better house, but
yeah, don't overdo that. You do what you are comfortable with.
Yeah, start with a payment you can afford within your budget each and every month. That's the smartest way to approach it.
It doesn't matter what you qualify for. It matters what you're comfortable with, and that's so important, dear. So important. Okay, just remember that part. That's important.
Right, but there's not many houses out there for $160,000. You know, they're all $200,000.
Guys, what part of town are you looking, or are you in Colorado Springs or are you in Denver?
Security Widefield is where I'd like to.
Where is where?
That is the south side of Colorado Springs.
Okay, so Stephanie Thomas, she has $160,000. What do you think?
The south side of town, you're still going to see some stuff. Southmore is closer than Fountain. The closer you get to Fountain, you'll find some properties still in that range.
Okay. Well,
is she working?
Are you working with a real estate agent already?
Had somebody pull stuff for her?
Are you working with someone, Mandy?
Yeah, I just started working with a lender and a
not a lender. Oh, and a real estate person?
Yeah.
How'd you find the real estate person?
Through my boyfriend's mom, good friend of hers.
Okay, that's fine. So listen, Mandy, there's probably stuff you can do down there for 160, but in any case, I hope we've given you enough information. All right, 303-713-8255. And speaking of loans, there's also reverse loans for those listening 62 and older with equity. They're getting harder and harder to do. And there are stipulations, but in some, and I'm just going to say this, rare circumstances, they are actually good ideas. It has to be the perfect fit. And the only one I trust to tell you that is Joan Sullivan, ApprovalReverse.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. You're right. I'm really sorry. I don't know what that. You know what? You're right. I wondered why you weren't looking. I assumed. I don't know. It's crazy. I swear to God, I looked at this seconds and it said 30.
It says revenue will match last year's fourth quarter.
That's what I thought happened, yeah.
Also, I knew Brent
Warren Buffett shaking up things in his Berkshire Hathaway, possibly.
All right,
good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you too. Glad things are going well. Awesome. Good to see you.
Take it easy.
Brent, I sent you an email.
Okay. Take care, man. I'll follow up. I'll call him right now. On my way back to the office.
However, the ad 10 years would be a long time for him to stay.
I've got active properties.
Autos, channels, or?
No, just single family.
If you ever want to buy a house or a car,
That's the other problem you run into though. If they don't have their cash flow and they're putting down
interest rates,
they're doing equity or something like that.
Where can
The
you go
question I guess I would have is that
quickly
price
get your
point
credit
will
score
fall to
and
your
credit
problems
report?
to go up.
They're going to be.
CreditKarma.com/radio.
Okay.
Check it
It's
whenever you
not,
like. It's
I mean,
free
that's
and
tough
there's
even
no
for
catch.
investors right
Don't get
now.
an unwanted surprise about your
I've got
credit
a few
score.
investors I
Go to
work with, and they're struggling to find
CreditKarma.com/radio. That's CreditKarma.com/radio.
And that's
This report is brought to you by Indeed.com.
The
lunch hour drive continues to
You know, our median price point's getting close to 300 now.
I was going to say, you guys are growing too, gosh.
Yeah, we're at 289-ish.
That is crazy.
So there's,
Drive along I-70 up in the high country, looking good as well.
it's going to be tough.
Our average single family in December was 434. Well,
Yeah,
almost
we're at
435, really.
289.
The weather forecast. It's going to be a chance of showers in the Denver area later on today with a high near 55.
That'll be tough.
Right
and if
now,
that price point is going to be completely against investors who are going to go pay cash.
That's what we run into a lot. That's right.
K-How.
We had a bidding war on one of the listings, and somebody just came in flat cash. Says I'll close in 7 days. What did my seller say? Okay. They're not going to argue. They're not going to have to worry about appraisal, lending. The inspection was easy. It was nothing.
The Feds have raised mortgage loan limits. This allows you to take out cash out of
We had some
rates
good
and
offers
pay
there
off
too.
that high interest rate debt. Or do that home improvement that you keep putting off, which will increase your value even more. Take AIM, 720-895-0500. Many of you have taken out a second mortgage or loans with mortgage insurance. With these
You know,
you can
oh
refinance
goodness, I
now
was
and
looking at
stop
stats
worrying
a
about
week
the second
ago,
mortgage being
and
increased.
they are actually suggesting that
Refinance your home
the
up to
first-time
95%
home
of
buyer
its value
market, say
and
300
eliminate
and under,
mortgage insurance
they're
payment.
going to be
Did you know that having a mortgage insurance payment is
almost
like
out of the market
Oh,
in the
yeah.
next year.
Unless they make changes on financing or something.
in your pocket,
You know.
not the bank's. Take AIM.
I got a good one. Jesus spoke to the people once more and said, I'm the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness, but you will have the light that leads to life.
AIM has been your locally owned and operated
I
neighbor
get these
since
little scriptures text me all the time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I send them to you sometimes, Tom, when I get them.
720-895-0500.
I try not to bother you, though. You're busy. Every now and then,
You'll never bother me with that.
I'll have something on my heart, and I'll say, I'm going to
You'll never bother me
Yeah,
with
here's mine for the day. I get them daily too.
that. Stephanie is always sending me too.
I get them every morning from my mom too. Isn't that cool? It kind of goes hand in hand with yours.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of does.
Yeah.
You know, when I got into real estate, I was a young guy. I was working at Sears. I was working in tire sales. I moved up into management. They were going to give me a management. I was going to work at the Southland store. I was going to be the manager.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we come back to absolute radar. Before the next break, we'll do our branding, and then coming back from that break, we'll do Laura Ortho.
We're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business.
You're saying?
I lost my train of thought.
Oh, you're working at Sears.
Oh, so I was going to be a manager, and I had the choice between being the auto shop manager in Southland or getting in real estate. And everybody told me, don't get into real estate, it's too risky. And the scripture, Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6, was my scripture that gave me the, that was my key scripture, and I jumped into real estate. Yeah, I took that leap, and it was scary, buddy, because I had a cozy job as yours.
Well, you really made a good choice. Sears.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, and you should know that cancer, the second leading cause of lung cancer, is radon poisoning. Radon is invisible. You can't smell it. You can't see it. It's totally odorless, which is really scary. But exposure can hurt you, especially if you have basements, crawl spaces, or basements, of course, where you have it finished and you stay down there, especially with kids. Here's the bottom line. It's so cheap to get it checked and fixed. Really, the most complicated mitigation system to get rid of it, to fix your house would be under $1,000. Think about this. If you're selling your house, you do away with any kind of inspection problems like that, or if you're buying one, you can have one done before you buy it or after you buy it. And I recommend Absolute Radon Safety. They're on my referral list at referralist.com. Give them a call. It's a very quick test, and they'll get right back to you and give you recommendations, or you may not have a problem. 303-880-0682, 303-880-08, excuse me, it's 303-880-0682, 880-0682. I'm back. So, we got some stuff on, some information on real estate to share with you. Joe.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good, Joe. Go ahead.
Hey, that lady that was on just a minute ago,
yeah.
She can find houses down there in the Fountain area for $140, $150.
What? Now I have someone shaking their head. A big no-no. You can't or
okay,
can.
Well,
you know that.
Okay, let me give you a scenario.
Okay.
I'm in the process of fixing. I own a house down there.
Okay.
And I'm fixing. And I was going to ask your realtor if I own it. I want to sell it to my daughter for $140. It's a 3-bedroom house, right off 85, 87. Does she do something like that?
What do you mean, does she do something? She'll list anything you want, right?
Well, I don't want it listed. I already have a buyer, my daughter.
Oh, to the transaction brokerage. Yeah, to take care of it. Now, I don't know if she does it, but I know Frank. I know a lot of people will do transaction brokerage. There's not a lot of money in it for them, so, but you know,
they're going to get to 6%.
Well, hold on. You'd be crazy. Whoa. Here's what I'm saying. You're crazy to pay 6% just to let someone do the transaction. If you're the seller and you have the buyer, I'd like to make money for these guys, but they wouldn't even do it. They would not do it for that. They would say it's unfair. Joe, seriously, 6%, you know, pay them a fee, but it would be less than that. So you would do it, right, Stephanie?
Sure. If you want to give me a call, I'd be happy to talk over a scenario with you on how I can help you.
And way cheaper than that.
Yeah. 6% would be to actively list it on the market and try and get you a buyer, ultimately trying to get you a top dollar.
That's right. You don't if you want to just make sure everything's done right, and with a title company and with all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. Do you know that in Colorado and most other states, there is actually code that says that real estate brokers have a limited practice of law, meaning that they literally can advise when it comes to laws regarding the purchase and transaction of a home or a property. So, Joe, leave your number with Suzanne, And you will not be in better hands than Stephanie Thomas. You will love it. Okay? 303-713-TALK. And Melissa. Go ahead, Melissa. What's happening?
Well, I just have a question.
Yeah.
Much earlier in your program, I think I heard you say that Brent Iverson's company is a direct lender, and I've been wondering ever since, is there such a thing as an indirect lender?
Yes.
What's the difference?
Yeah. Here's what it is, okay? Most lenders you see that advertise or you hear they are brokers, indirect lenders, okay? They call themselves, mortgage companies and loan companies, but they're not direct lenders. This is what it means. They have wholesale companies that will buy their loans. So they have to, for Company A gives them a list of requirements. Company B gives them a list of requirements, and Company C gives them a list of requirements. Now, A, B, and C, they're going to be similar requirements because the federal government has requirements, but they will also have some individual quirks, each company. So, you are a broker and you represent A, B, and C. Sometimes you represent just A and B. It doesn't matter. You get a person like you who wants to borrow money, and you get their application, and you get all the information that you can get, and then you go to company A, B, or C, or all three, and you say, here's a deal, can you do it? And then you go with the one that will pay you the most money. So company B will say, yeah, we'll give you $1,000 for this loan, or we'll give you a percentage, or whatever. And that's how it works. They make money on going out and selling loans. Now, here's the deal. Just like a real estate person doesn't own the property they're selling, the lender, the indirect lender or the broker doesn't own the funds he's lending.
Right.
That's it. So where Ideal Home Loans, they're a direct lender, but that's kind of a misnomer too, not with Ideal, but with the whole industry. There is really no direct lender at all, meaning that, yeah, they are lending. Brent literally is loaning money out of his account. When he closes a loan for $100,000, I'm just using a number, he takes $100,000 out of his bank and pays that buyer or that seller. So he is taking a risk. But then within a few days or months, no, I wouldn't say months, weeks, he sells that loan to a wholesaler or to someone else, or to a servicing company who wants to keep it for a long time. And so while he's a direct lender, he doesn't service or hold the loans more than a few weeks. So he could have several $1 million out at any one time, and he's taking risks, but he's still going to sell it. But the benefit is he can choose who he wants to lend to or not. But he can literally, without breaking a law, he can fudge a little if he figures, okay, this is a little off. If there's no law on it, he can say, yeah, I'll take a chance and lend the money. But then he may have a problem selling it down the road, but he takes that risk and responsibility. So even the biggest lenders, the biggest banks, are not necessarily direct because they sell their loans too. And ultimately, all of the mortgage loans, ultimately, except for a few, end up as bonds. They end up as bonds that people buy. Now, I can't afford to finance someone's home for $1 million, but I could buy a bond. I could invest in the bond market, maybe $25,000. Or $5,000 or $1,000. When you do your IRA might have money that is invested in bonds. So you technically, Melissa, are a mortgage lender because some of the money in your IRA buys bonds from the government that funds mortgages, right? So who sells the bonds? It's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, right? They are truly the ultimate mortgage lenders. And when I say they, who are they? They are people that sell bonds to us. So it's a big circle. That's how mortgage money is gotten. That's how you get giant pools of mortgage money. Brent will loan out his money, then goes and sells it and gets that money back to lend out to more. The one he sold it to, he sells it, and it ultimately ends up at Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae.
Okay, well that makes sense, but what I'm wondering, as far as direct, it sounds the same as indirect, except possibly the direct for a few days might be out of Iverson's bank account.
That's right. That's right.
Whereas with an indirect, you wait until it comes directly from the ultimate lender to the...
Well, not even the ultimate lender, just their wholesaler. So a loan broker, let's say like, who do we have as a loan? AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage, Kurt Rogers. He's a great broker. He's a good guy. What he does is he'll shop his wholesalers, and he'll come to you and say, Melissa, I found this loan. Do you like it? Because he'll shop for you, like an insurance broker, right? And then he'll bring that. And if you like it, he'll do the paperwork, get it done, and then the company, his wholesaler, will pay him a commission or a fee, and then he sells it to them. You know, they buy it. And then they may keep it, or they may not either. They might sell it again. So you're right. You're right. There isn't a lot of difference.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a good explanation.
I'm glad that you liked it, and I'm happy we were able to talk about it because I like the show educating people and knowing what's going on. Rick, what's going on with you, Rick?
Tom, my parents are a little bit older, and they have a bunch of rental property down in Colorado Springs. And we put up a for sale sign in one of them that's way out of the way for my parents to get to. And this lady stopped by the house, gave them a contract, they signed it, and the closing's supposed to be this month.
Now, wait a minute. You guys already did this all on your own?
My dad and mother and this person that's going to buy this house did that on their own. Yes.
Right.
So the closing's supposed to be at the end of the month, but now the person that's going to buy the place is asking for the deed before she pays for the house.
Never in a million years. Does she want to examine the deed, or she wants it made out to her?
No clue.
No, never, ever. In fact, I've had cases on this show where people were hoodwinked into signing over their deeds. Don't ever do it. This is where you need to get... What part of town are you in?
Colorado Springs on the east side.
You need to get Stephanie Thomas to help you with the transaction. She will go and look at all the parties and figure out what that person wants. If that person wants the deed first because they want to be protected, then they go to a title insurance company.
Okay.
So please don't it sounds scammy to me.
Well, it sounds scammy to me too. And the thing about it is, you know, the parents being older are just letting this buyer, you know, do all of the
Bad. It's bad. It's bad. Okay. I mean that. I smell a rat.
Well, I'm kind of smelling it too. And so if we could get Miss Thomas's phone number so we could contact her.
I should give out both of their numbers anyway since they're here. And, okay, so, in any case, Stephanie, when she's not here, you can find her. She's at Remax Millennium, but you want to go to her directly. It's Stephanie... RE for realestate.com. Stephanie with a PH. Stephanie RE. Stephanie RE.com. Her number, and give the number on the phone, Suzanne, so he gets it. 719-687-2052. 719-687-2052. And Frank Duran, the real estate man who's in the Denver metro area. Stephanie's in the Springs area and north to what? Castle Rock? Yeah. And then south, I mean, shows metro area. I mean, is Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. I always say that. 303-920-1622. Now it's time to talk about another guy I love. You know, it's funny, all these guys I really like are just short guys. I don't know what that is. Maybe I don't know what it is. Like Al Ramos, a pro auto care, and then we've got Frank Duran, the real estate man, and then Mitch Floria, Art of Granite. Now, what he does, I love the way he does it. This is what's unique. He will give you a price over the phone. Do you know how many times people say, just give me a price? And people can't get a price. They got to make an appointment. He'll give you a price. All you have to do are take some photos and give him some measurements. Then call him, 303-386-5919. artofgranite.net. You call him and say, here's what I got. He looks at it. He'll give you a ballpark, and it'll be pretty close. But then when you want to pick out the specific stuff, you go to a showroom in Golden. It's beautiful. It's a nice selection of cabinets and countertops. He doesn't charge over wholesale for countertops. You can buy them from him or anywhere else on his account. He won't charge more than wholesale. He only charges for his fabrication and installation and a small markup on the cabinets. So do business the right way with Mitch Floria. Art of Granite, 7 days a week, and he serves the entire metro area and the mountains 7 days a week. Give him a call, 303-386-5919, 303-386-5919.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Big delays on the northbound side of Parker Road approaching Bellevue, possible crash there.
Well, I can see those people scamming that older couple.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's
That didn't look good.
So I'll go. If they'll call me or I'll call them. I'll go look at everything with them. Title they should have already seen like a title commitment that we should.
I don't even know what she needs.
Not the actual.
She wants the title.
Or wants the deed, yeah. You wouldn't get a deed till you close.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no reason to have a deed.
That doesn't even make any sense.
I mean, they would see the title workup with the commitment and see any type of easements, encumbrances, anything like that.
Do you have to go through a title company?
You can post a job and
I guess you could have an attorney do it. I mean, I've always...
No, I just was saying, could you just do it without a title company, just between two parties, or is that a...
You could do it through an attorney. I would do it through a title company.
Yeah, you're still going to have somebody create that deed, somebody record that deed.
Okay.
So title's probably your most economical way to do it.
Yeah.
So last attorney quote I got down in the Springs for a client was $280 an hour.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you're definitely going to be probably better off with title.
Yeah.
As a business owner, managing cable has been a long time.
I mean, title's like what, 360 split in half between the parties.
The closing service fee is about that, but the title commitment itself is based on that.
Based on the percentage of the, Have your rates gone up under?
I haven't seen it, but you know what? What I've noticed though is rates are actually less up there than they are down here.
Yeah.
So, the last one, I've got one closing Friday, and I want to say it's 180. Granted, it's a land. So land is more in that $150, $200 range. I think Empire down there is somewhere in the ballpark of $250. Empire and Stewart is somewhere in that ballpark of $220 to $2.
Who do you use?
Down here I like land.
Land, yeah.
Up there I like Empire and Stewart.
I will never buy a new car as long as I live.
Oh no.
No, I'm going to lease or I'm going to buy used. I'm never going to. I made up my mind. I will never. No, leasing is fine. If you
can write off the lease.
Well, why is leasing?
Well,
you're buying.
If you go over the mileage, if you turn it in and it's got a couple scratches on it.
But I do it the right way. When I lease, here's the deal. You're right. People don't have discipline, and most people can't. But it's a great deal for most.
Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. You know, it's weird they call it orthodontics and TMJ, but I know why. And that is because it corrects TMJ when you get your mouth fixed. And it corrects sleep apneas. And the reason it does that is because, bottom line is that your mouth, most crooked teeth are caused by a narrow palate. In fact, 99% of it. So if he widens the palate, your teeth get straight. Now, you may say, but that'll take years and years. He's proven that he can widen your palate over a short period of time, plus give you Invisalign braces for the finishing touches, and he can do it all in 2 years and give you beautiful teeth, no matter how bad your teeth are. And no extractions and no surgeries. That's Dr. Kent Lawson. It's called the New Orthodontics. You're crazy if you don't give him a call, because to have veneers just for front teeth can be $25 grand. For the whole mouth, it's $50,000 or $60,000. Cosmetic dentistry, It looks beautiful, but it's expensive, and it doesn't correct any alignment of the jaw. It doesn't correct any TMJ or sleep apnea. Dr. Kent Lawson will take care of all of it. 303-690-0100, 303-690-0100, and that's the new orthodontist. You can look for him on my referral list at referralist.com. Okay, Darlene, what's going on in your life? Hi, Darlene.
Hi.
What's happening?
Well, I had a shake roof put on in May. It took him almost 2.5, 3 weeks to put it on.
Why would you ever want a shake roof? Ugh.
Oh, I think they're beautiful.
Okay, so what happened?
Okay, so the guy comes out, and I'm working in my yard. I need $5,000 immediately. On the contract here, it says balance due $32,000 upon completion pending inspection. All right, and through the process, when he was up there, I need money. I called the Better Business Bureau. That is a red flag warning.
Well, anyway, the Better Business Bureau, they're not going to help you. They don't help anyone. They don't help people. So how can I help you? Did you give him... Hold on.
The hailstorm took all the gutters off all the house.
Now, Darlene, hold on. You had the hailstorm after he put on that new shake roof?
No, before. He took all the gutters off. They were working on it. Took all the gutters off. It flooded the greenhouse. It ruined the duet shades. It ruined my sofa. And it ruined, then he tore all the caulking of the rubber on the greenhouse was all ruined.
Where are we right now in the process? Okay, where are we? Is the roof started?
Yeah, the roof was started. Yeah.
Is it done yet?
It's done. It's been done.
Okay, are the gutters back on?
The gutters are back on.
Okay, so the job is complete. What is the problem today?
All right, today I want to know. I had 7 vents up there. Now I've got 15.
Oh, that's good.
Is it good to have more vents?
Yes. Yes, but I don't know why. See, first of all, let's put it this way. If he put in more vents, he didn't do it just to make more work for himself. He must have thought you needed them. Because why wouldn't he just leave it the way it is? He had no vested interest in adding vents.
Oh, okay.
There's no logic to it. If he wanted to rip, there's no logic to adding vents to rip somebody off. To add vents is more work. He doesn't get much more money for it. It's easier for him to just do the roof and be done with it. The fact that he put 6 extra vents or 5 extra vents up there, whatever he did, or 10 extra vents, whatever he did, he must have thought you needed it.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I can think about. All you want to worry about is that they don't leak.
Yeah, right. And is he responsible for the damages to my house, or am I responsible?
Well, here's the thing, Darlene. If he did something negligent, like opened up your house to the elements and left it there for weeks, he could be. But if he was simply taking the house apart to fix it like any roofer would do, and a hailstorm came, how can that be his fault? It can't be. He didn't do anything wrong. He took your gutters off. Now your insurance should pay for that, are they?
No.
Wait. Why? Why?
Well, because I had a deductible of...
that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking. I'm saying after the deductible, would they pay?
No.
Why?
Because they said that I didn't have enough money, enough damage.
Should we send our insurance adjuster to her?
Just wait a second. I think I know what she's saying. The second damage, the second storm, this hailstorm, okay, that did all that damage, when you added up all that damage for the second storm, that did not amount to your deductible. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Then they weren't refusing you coverage.
No.
They were saying you have to pay another deductible because it's a second storm, and with that second deductible, you don't have any damages to be covered. So what is your deductible?
My deductible at the time was $12,000.
Okay, now I understand. I understand completely. I think you're just out of luck. It's just something that happened. And I don't think the roofer's responsible just because a hailstorm came when he was working on your house.
Okay.
That's just bad time.
He put tarps up after. Why didn't he put tarps up before?
Well, see, I don't know, but that doesn't mean he's responsible for damage. Now, don't get me wrong. If he did something stupid that no other roofer would do, then he could be liable. But I didn't hear anything. Just because he took it off, how long, tell me this, when he stripped your roof, how long did it sit there before the hailstorm came?
Well, they had a little bit.
How long did it sit there?
No, the front of the roof.
How long did the house sit bare before the hailstorm came?
A day.
Oh, my God. No, you have no case against this guy, in my opinion. The poor guy just took off the stuff, and the storm came the next day. That's not, how could it be his fault? Evelyn, what's happening with you, Evelyn?
Oh, good morning.
Hey, we're running out of time, and I wanted to get to the problem. Your neighbor moved your fence?
Yes.
Why? Why?
Because he thinks he wants it and it's his property. It's not. I have proof of it.
Okay, I need to take you back tomorrow because there's an easy way to handle this. I don't have time, and I don't want to rush you, Evelyn, okay? And if I didn't have guests in the studio, I would stay behind and talk to you, but I can't because I have guests. So Suzanne will make sure you get taken care of. I'm Tom Martino. This is the Troubleshooter Show. Don't forget, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622, and Stephanie Thomas in Colorado Springs.
Has work got you feeling stressed and burned out? Dr. Jan Bellerman and Daryl Dennis invite you to join them at the Denver Athletic Club February 9th for Unmasking the Big Number event. This one-day event will help you establish new confidence in whatever you do. The new model is an event.
I know he's busy managing our apps, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, getting them ready.
Dan, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Frank. I'd really like to see you in the top 5 in Colorado. You're a man.
Thank God, buddy. Thank God. I tell you, it's been a road. There's still more to go.
I like that story.
I know that.
Mike's going to be the CEO. I mean, Mike's going to run
Yeah.
Everybody, even the district managers, are you crazy? We're
all
looking
looking
forward
forward
to
to
it.
it. Oh my God, we are so
You're crazy. Don't go into real estate. You got to close
very
job. You're going to be making
exciting.
this and that.
I am so.
And I had to follow my
And
and it was scary. Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Let's see. I've been in the business now officially 25 years.
Oh, wow.
But I was working with Sears, and I was part-time in real estate at the time just to get into the business. So that's been over 20 years. Yeah. Thank God it worked out.
Yeah, the Bible verse is definitely.
Yes, sir. That's right. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Tom, you got 5 minutes? Of course. Okay. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
God
I
bless
told
you.
you my story, how
I can't. Do you have a generic? I can't do it.
We had a good talk. I'll tell you what, you're doing good.
I got a meeting.
Doing good. Everything going good with the broker and all that? Nice, easy to talk to, or? Oh. Okay, all right. I don't really see my broker that much. I just, you know.
Now, are we still online, guys?
No, I should have.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's.
No,
I'm going to finish it off right.